So if we talk about the young generation, a question for both of you, should we start teaching in school maybe with a topic like ecological awareness? To start teaching that in school?
I mean, of course you could do that, but I think it would be better to include that aspect in all other subjects, so that we show that everything is connected.
I am not a bigot. I am a good global citizen and believe all the socially acceptable things that the good grown-ups at the big banks tell the TV screens to tell me to believe.
Welcome to the planet, my dears. Wipe your feet. Come on in. No more need for coats in your mother's den.
What do you see as the biggest challenges in conservation?
The growing human population. Because where we are, there's nothing else.
And do you have views about what should be done about that?
Can't you guess?
Then the doors burst open. The king and queen walk through. There's our precious daughter. If they did not know what love meant, who would?
I am so happy that Prince Philip, friend of Jimmy Savile and father of philanthropist and champion of science Jeffrey Epstein's close friend Prince Andrew, and enlightened scientists like Bill Nye will come up with solutions to the #climate crisis. I believe when the TV tells me that science says the Earth is dying because of climate change, which is why I became a vegan activist, but I wish we knew how to stop it so poor Prince Philip and Greta can have their futures back.
Growing population is a problem, but notice that the rate that the population is growing, human population is growing, is slowing down. It's apparently raising the standard of living of women and girls, people like you. As women and girls get better educated, they have fewer kids, and the kids they do have more resources, so they're better taken care of and they are more successful.
And I think that was the biggest aha to Bill and me when we got into this work, is we asked ourselves, of course, the same hard-nosed question you'd ask, which is, if you get into this work and you start to save these children, will women just keep overpopulating the world? And thank goodness the converse is absolutely true, because they don't do that.
In this year's annual letter, Melinda and I take the toughest questions we get asked and give our answers. One that's come up for a long time is, as we make the world healthier, is the population going to get so big that feeding everybody and maintaining the environment is going to be impossible? We find that in every country of the world, this is repeated. The population growth goes down as we improve health. That the faster we improve health, the faster family size goes down. And so we can feel great about saving those lives.
Having a child means that your net carbon output per year in tons is 59. From one child is 59. Going on a vegan diet removes 0.8. So if you have a child, that's literally making up for like 70 vegans.
That's
you know, if you go car free, if I live in Manhattan and I don't drive, I am the equivalent of 3 vegans. If I wash my clothes with cold water, if I hang them to dry, and I recycle everything, that's the equivalent of 1 vegan diet.
I am so glad my educated wife knew better than to have children. It gives me more time to become a better version of myself. If we did have kids, she wouldn't have this great job and I couldn't have gotten the vasectomy from Dr. Gregor that her corporate health insurance paid for. My wife's boyfriend suggested I take a break from playing my Nintendo Switch and doing hardcore vegan activism in YouTube comments a few times a week to meditate or exercise, but even my spiritual leader, Sadhguru, is concerned about the #climate crisis. Maybe he has a viable solution to this real and not made up crisis that is going to make everything bad happen if we don't do what the good grown-ups in government, banks, and the media tell us to do.
Unless you reduce the human footprint on the planet, there is no solution for anything. Then they asked me a brilliant question, how do you reduce the human footprint? I said, you have to reduce the number of feet. That's the only way. So, Right now, it doesn't matter what others think. All of you who are here and those of you who are hanging out with me, we can take it upon ourselves that we will not push the human population. You can have a dog.
He promoted this on television, and he went around all the agricultural shows, and he had I mean, it was a one-man thing, and it had a tremendous effect. It reduced it from 3% to 1%. But one of the things he said to the farmers, he said, look, you don't need all these children, it's ridiculous. You've got to feed them all, clothe them all, educate them all, and look after their health. So have a few, and then if you want to go on entertaining yourself, have a vasectomy. Oh, yes. Well, how do I do that? Well, I'll organize it for you. We'll have buses running into Bangkok on the King's birthday, very auspicious day. And you will go into, and he took over a whole lot of school halls and that sort of thing. And he showed me a photograph of all these beds and everything, and people went in, and I said, but how did they take it? Well, he said they didn't like being seen to have the operation. Oh, I said, really, how do you do that? I had visions of, putting up. Oh, he said, it's quite simple, I blindfolded them.
Hey, what's that gadget?
Global
Television?
citizens breaking news. I am not a bigot. I am a good global citizen who takes the recommended daily dosage of vitamin TV to keep me in a state of anxiety, agitation, confusion and learned helplessness. I am not a science denier. I trust the experts. I do not deny science. The good grown-up experts from science on the TV interrupt this totally real and not made-up #climate crisis to bring you information from a more important and totally real death threat from a global pandemic virus. We must all listen to the experts from science and obey the TV and participate in this totally necessary and justified, mandatory panic.
Spoiler alert, you're a scientist.
What I will say of this virus, I think we're in the middle of a massive experiment worldwide. And that
where
is...
are the guinea pigs?
Maybe. The experiment is, will people listen to scientists? In this case, referring to medical professionals?
Medical professionals.
In this particular case?
Say Anthony Fauci over at Allergy and Infectious Disease.
For example, and are you washing your hands? And are you taking these precautions? These are warnings offered by scientists. And
for our own good.
For our own good. And I'd be interesting if we all paid attention to what scientists say, obeying the recommendations of scientists. It's an interesting experiment we're in the middle of.
Report by Johns Hopkins researchers and said that as many as 6,000 children a day could die over a 6-month period from preventable causes because of healthcare system disruptions caused by the coronavirus. Our next guest, Greta Thunberg, recently gave $100,000 she had received for her climate change activism to UNICEF to help protect kids from the pandemic. She's also helping raise even more money for UNICEF. She recently revealed she believes she may have had coronavirus after returning home from working in Europe. She said her symptoms were very mild, and her father, who had traveled with her, also got sick. We spoke to Greta Thunberg earlier this afternoon.
During this crisis, during any crisis, it is always the most vulnerable people who are hit the hardest, and that is children.
Because there's so much focus on coronavirus, there's a lot of kids around the world who may die of things that are very treatable, but because medical systems are overwhelmed, it's going to impact children in ways that a lot of people don't really anticipate.
Coronavirus! I have to say as well, I mean, Anderson and I have traveled around the world and seen the amazing work UNICEF has done in various places. I mean, really is a terrific organization. Children's Emergency Fund.
I am so scared. If the extra non-essential people don't all obey science and stop working, wear masks, obey social distancing guidelines from science, and stay home until the good grown-ups tell us it's safe again, everything bad will happen always and all the people will die. The models clearly show that this is necessary and we have no choice but to listen to the experts from science. I am not selfish. I am a good global citizen who does not hate children and grandma. I will listen to what this brave, grassroots 16-year-old human shield tells me to do. I am not a bigot. The science is settled. We must accept a new normal. My wife's boyfriend is an essential worker on the front lines. He is a university graduate and a department manager at Walmart and understands the science and the models. He assures me that this is the right thing for us non-essential people to do.
Things I've seen you talk about online too is just how important it is to listen to experts and listen to science. And this is a time when, I was not a very good science student when I was in school, but this is a time it seems that, the global scientific community is so critically important, and we're really seeing just how important it is to follow science.
Yes, exactly. And I hope that we can see now the scientific community are stepping up, and they are speaking up more than they're done before, because obviously this is a crisis that require the scientific community to speak up. And I hope that people really, it feels like science is getting, the role of science is changing now. It's becoming more, people are starting to realize that we are actually depending on science and that we need to listen to scientists and experts. And I really hope that that stays, and that also is for other crises, such as the climate crisis and the environmental crisis, that we actually understand that we have to listen to the scientists.
If the world was vegan, there would be no COVID-19. Up until 10,000 years ago, there were no epidemic diseases. What changed? We domesticated animals.
How's it going? I hope you're being safe out there and in good health. And certainly, I hope you're having enough toilet paper at home. Corona emerged due to the consumption of meat. What can I do in the future to prevent this? Leave the meat off your plate. Don't buy any animal products, and don't consume anything that an animal died for, or has been raped for, or has been tortured for. You know what I'm saying? So in order to avoid a pandemic in the future, you might want to look into your current diet and see what consequences to have an animal on your plate might have on a global scale. And you're seeing it right now. This is a small taste.
American philosopher John Rawls devised a thought experiment called the Veil of Ignorance. He suggested that when trying to determine a moral course of action on an issue that affects multiple people, we should make that decision from a veil of ignorance in regarding which person we will be. For instance, when designing a social policy that affects two different classes of people, one can imagine that once this policy has been designed, one will be placed somewhere in this society with an equal chance of ending up in either of the two classes. The idea is that placing oneself in a veil of ignorance when designing societies or social policies for that matter should result in a more fair and just society where everyone's interests are considered equally. The British government has now put restrictions in place to slow the spread of this virus. People in the UK are only allowed to leave their homes for specific reasons. This includes shopping for necessities, medical care, and travelling to and from work if it's absolutely necessary. Shops selling non-essential goods have been closed, as well as gyms, libraries, places of worship, and gatherings of more than 2 people have been banned. It's extremely important that these measures are enforced and that we practice social distancing, because potentially every one person can set in motion a chain of events that results in thousands of people being infected. Despite this, it seems that many people in the UK aren't taking this seriously, with photos emerging of packed tube stations and crowded parks. The mortality rates can be expected to increase over time if no countermeasures are put in place to flatten the curve, with hospitals becoming overrun with cases. Sure, if you ignore these guidelines, you may not ever see the victims of your actions, but I can't see how that's morally relevant. If I buy cow's cheese, directly affecting the supply and demand and causing more cows to be tortured and killed, I'll never see my victim, but I'm still morally responsible for their suffering and death. This is especially the case when we consider that the government have now told us extensively the risks of leaving home and not practicing good hygiene. We have now been told countless times that more people will die if we do not take this seriously. One argument is that going outside is going to give you a large amount of pleasure, and that you'll be missing out on something if you don't go outside. Perhaps as a social event you really want to go ahead, or you're just bored of social distancing. This is essentially the same argument that non-vegans use when trying to justify killing animals. If we don't think that we can justify killing non-humans on the basis of pleasure, then surely we can't justify killing humans on the basis of pleasure. I mean, come on, what next? Perhaps you also think that because lions don't self-isolate, humans shouldn't either. I think we all know that the behaviour of lions isn't an excuse for humans killing animals or humans. You may also think that Hitler self-isolated and he was a vegetarian. And while it's true that Hitler did self-isolate before his death, what Hitler did and didn't do is irrelevant to what we should do. To be fair though, if God wanted us to self-isolate, why would he give us legs? Another argument people may use is that the quicker we all get infected, the quicker we reach herd immunity. This of course is true if a virus can only infect you once, which we are not certain of when it comes to coronavirus.
Wow. That is some of the most powerful science I've ever heard. I feel so helpless and afraid, but comforted that the science has a plan to fight this terrible real death threat from this pandemic. The essential workers at the hospitals need our help. We must stay home and implement a global lockdown until the good grown-up experts like philanthropist Jeffrey Epstein's close friend Bill Gates come up with a happy, safe, healthy injectable science medicine to make us immune and healthy. Luckily, this won't affect my vegan activism, which is done anonymously in social media comments. I just wish all the non-essential people would listen to us empowered science-affirming activists and stay home and eat plant-based kibble so we can win the battle against the invisible enemy. Toxic masculinity and science denial seem to be at the root of this problem. It seems like both the hashtag climate crisis and this pandemic can be remedied with the same medicine. A global totalitarian technocratic social control grid of government-enforced mandatory poverty, and a new normal that redefines old, outdated concepts like freedom, healthy diet, family, and masculinity.
What do these 4 countries have in common? It's 2 things: Taiwan, New Zealand, Germany, Norway. All 4 of them reacted decisively to the coronavirus crisis. All 4 of them kept infection rates and death rates low, and all 4 of them have female leaders. This coronavirus crisis has shown clearly that we need competent, empathetic leadership, and that means more women in positions of power, and less of the macho stupidity and sociopathic behavior that we get from Bolsonaro in Brazil, Boris Johnson in the UK, or Trump here in the United States.
These toxic masculinity exuding non-essential extra people who refuse to wear their healthy muscles, stay home and accept mandatory unemployment are infringing on my rights. These science denier irresponsible non-essential people are the same bigots who wouldn't listen to the good grown-up philanthropists who tried to help them sterilize themselves and give up their non-essential rights to travel, eat meat, have jobs, own land, and reproduce in order to save our poor sick mommy Earth from all the toxic CO2 exhalations that the experts say the nasty extra people are off-gassing.
The act of killing the animal wasn't the masculine trait back then. It was the act of providing for your homes, right, was the masculine trait back in the day. Gender roles change, right, but this is back in the day, right? The masculine act was to provide and to look after and to defend. But we've conflated that with the masculine thing being aggressive, but also killing animals. And so you translate that feeling to a 2019 context, and you have people thinking, actually, to be manly means to eat meat, but actually to be manly doesn't mean to eat meat. It means to look after, right?
My favorite vegan activist can help re-educate these ignorant science denial lockdown folks. They just need some inspirational speeches from positive male role models to teach them to accept the new normal. Earthling Ed can help them understand why masculinity is not about eating meat, or having unnecessary things like children, jobs, guns, testosterone, real animal foods, and rights. If only more men would be like Earthling Ed, we would not have viruses because people would not eat animals, or toxic masculinity because men would be comfortable with their lack of masculinity and redefinition of it.
Getting women to find you attractive, and it's really grotesque when you watch these adverts and you simplify what's happening in these adverts and what's being reinforced to people, but it really, really works. Like, advertising is so powerful. So now you have this idea of that, and then as a vegan, I get accused of being a soy boy, right? And now I am a soy boy because I love soy. Like, that's fine. I drink soy milk, I eat tofu. But the idea is being a soy boy, you're feminizing yourself, right? Because there's phytoestrogens in soy products, which there is.
This brave, stunning activist has me literally shaking with self-empowered, redefined masculinity and an unstoppable drive to stay home and stop this virus and the hashtag climate crisis by continuing my hero's journey of vegan activism in YouTube comments and on my anonymous Instagram profile. Real masculinity is not about having or providing for a family and children, producing and eating real animal foods, or having unnecessary testosterone and muscle and rights. Real masculinity is about using female emotional manipulation techniques to make people behave like you want them to. Thank you, Earthling Ed. I stand with you and you're not toxically masculine man bun and proudly declare.
I am a soy boy because I love soy. Like, that's fine. I drink soy milk, I eat tofu. But the idea is being a soy boy, you're feminizing yourself, right? Because there's phytoestrogens in soy products, which there is. Like, you know, this idea that we have to reinforce these tropes of what it means to be a man. And so almost eating meat's a stamp of that dominance and authority, and is a reminder of kind of like more archaic and transgressive masculine traits and roles, which is interesting.
Hello. What's up, everybody? I know a lot of you in the chat have had a very difficult week. I know a lot of you have had a hard last 6 days since we heard the news. I've also had a difficult week. For those of you who do not know, for those of you who have not caught up on what's been going on here, we have had, there we go. We've had a really hard week, really hard month. Petunia has passed, one of our favorite feathered women, angel on earth, an enlightened sage. Petunia has transitioned. Here's her beautiful face. A beautiful, dandruff-stricken face, sweet Petunia, who taught us all how to love, how to truly love, who taught us all how to truly be a woman, or a man, or a trans vegan. Petunia is no longer with us. I know you guys are missing her as much as I am, but you're going to have to do your best. Just pay attention. Pay attention during this stream. You know, we have to move forward. If you know my name, if I saw you in heaven, if I saw you in heaven, Alright, but we have to move forward. You guys want to learn a little bit about Petunia and see our touching eulogy to Petunia? Beautiful feathered woman, forced by the evil humans to lay eggs her whole life. And then fed those chicken periods. Fed those chicken periods forced to have a period every day. And every single chicken period she had, she was forced to consume it. So we miss Petunia. We stand in solidarity with all the rest of the feathered women of the slaughterhouses. And we definitely support rescuing these feathered women. We support this. And it's okay. Remember, it's okay. If you're a vegan, it's okay to feed... they're chicken periods, right? They're not eggs. These are chicken periods. As those annoying vegans could say, and as Joey Carbstrong says, it comes out of a chicken's ass vagina. In the words of Joey Carbstrong. They come out of the chicken's ass vagina. Isn't that disgusting? So these chicken periods that come out of its, quote, ass vagina, that's not okay for you to eat. Disgusting. If you even think about eating that, if you even think about eating it, you're disgusting. You're a murderer, rapist. What else? I mean, everything bad. All those things. You are bad. If you are feeding it to the chicken, though, that's cool. It's cool. So chicken periods for chickens, we learned that from those annoying vegans. You can check out this video, which barely got any views. Sadly, spent way too much time editing that dang video. Barely got any views from you bigots. Make sure to share that one. It's a good one. All right, let's get started. We got one super chat. Finally, one person supporting the stream here. We had last stream, we had a bunch of stinges up in the chat. Told you guys, you don't keep supporting it, we ain't doing it. I'm holding these streams hostage. And your super chats are the only thing that can release it from my iron grip. Coffee Bean sends $2, says Petunia lives matter. Petunia's life mattered more than all the reproductive health services liberated clumps of cells in the world. All right. So thank you for the super chat, Coffee Bean. Coffee Bean, the only supporter of the stream so far. All you bigots out there who want these streams to happen, and you don't show any love and support it, you know, freaking YouTube demonetizes them. All right, let's get started. We talked about the livestock protests last week, and today we're finishing up with that. We're almost done with it. Vegan gains forced to bear witness. False witness, in fact. Vegan gains forced to bear false witness. We talked about this incident where a vegan activist was, unfortunately, forced to bear witness to these animals, and she actually put herself in front of a moving vehicle and sadly passed away. So it was a very unfortunate thing. But of course, the vegans are stoked because they've got a martyr. They got a martyr. So they're making this woman into a martyr. We saw Vegan Gains videos on this situation. Vegan Gains said that. Where's his video? Vegan Gains said, vegan activist killed by pig truck. No, that's not Vegan Gains. Where's his? I don't have his pulled up. Dang it. Amateur. Vegan Cronish says vegan activist killed by pig truck. Michelle Lowe, mentally healthy, mental health professional. Michelle Lowe, expert in psychology, academic, expert in the science, the social sciences. 31-year-old Michelle Lowe says, vegan activist intentionally, in all caps, killed by slaughterhouse truck driver? With a question mark. We don't want to be too judgy now. Don't want to be too judgy. Don't be too judgy there. We'll put a question mark. So, all these people, so convinced, right? Vegan activist murdered yesterday, says vegan foot soldier. We haven't visited vegan foot soldier in a long time. It's been way too long. Regan Russell update. This is murder. Grumpy vegan granddad. So we're going to go through a few of these. We're going to watch a few clips of these. And then we're going to put the final nail in the coffin of these slanderous accusations from these vegans who have been straight up lying, manipulating, gaslighting. They're gaslighting, as Michelle Lowe says. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness, Michelle Lowe, the lovely Michelle Lowe. So let's start out. We got Vegan Cronish here. We'll start out with him, but there we go. There we go. We got some support for the stream now. Thank you. Thank you for supporting, guys. The last stream, we got very little support. This stream, we got a super chat cascade. The Truth sends Canadian $6.99, sending them Trudeau dollars. He says, for Petunia. For Petunia. Isn't everything for Petunia at this point? Right? Isn't it all for Petunia? R.I.P. Petunia. iPhone Musings sends $5. iPhone Musings with that V on the name. There you go. iPhone Musings. He was put in the dunce corner earlier. He asked earlier. He's like, "What are the rules of the chat?" Because he got put in timeout. The rules of the chat are just don't annoy me too much. If you annoy me too much, you're just gonna get put in timeout, or maybe you'll just get shooed off into the blocked list. But if anybody does want to get unblocked, you can always email me and I'll unblock you. Don't worry about it. If you really want to get unblocked and you've been blocked, sometimes it happens by accident. Sometimes there's friendly fire. So iPhone Musings, I didn't block you. And there you go. And I'm glad I didn't, because you support the dang stream, and I appreciate that. Please get Sean Baker on a stream. Sean Baker will come back on a stream. All right, thank you. I will. I'll reach out to him. What do you want to see? You want to see, maybe we should try to get another debate with him and Leo? That was freaking classic. Maybe he'll debate. Maybe Leo will step up and debate him again, because that was amazing. I love that one. Would you call my name, Petunia, if I saw you in chicken heaven? If I saw you in chicken heaven. I'm sorry, I just remembered Petunia again. Just for kicks, not just for clicks. Just for kicks, sending $9.99, and the USDs sending those Trump bucks. So $9.99 says, I am a soy boy because I love soy. I'm a soy boy because I love soy. Take it, bigot. Thank you. You are officially not a bigot. In fact, you're the most not a bigot so far. So you're winning the super chat competition. You've proven that you're not racist and that you're not a bigot. And I appreciate you supporting the stream, because you guys are the fuel behind this, right? You guys want them earlier in the day, and I do the streams earlier in the day. Support the streams. I like doing these streams, but if we don't get support from the audience, it doesn't become so worth it. We've got other avenues that we can put out content on. I do like the streams, though. They're one of my favorite. All right, Debunked sending $2 says he had an evil look in his. He had this like evil look in his eyes. This truck driver had this evil look in his eyes. He stuck his head out the window, slid his finger across his throat, and said, "I'm gonna murder any vegans in front of my truck." With this evil look in his eyes. He had this evil look in his eyes. Thanks for the donation, Vegan Bunked. Helen Guilford, $4.99, says, I look forward to your live streams. Love your humor. Well, thanks, Helen Guilford. I would suggest that you get a vasectomy and definitely go vegan, you know. Psycho Magnet, £5 from the UK. It is past your bedtime, Psycho Magnet. Says, good evening, Mr. Baldman Bad. I see you've been enjoying those hypocritical James Aspie posts. Any response on your debate request? Well, that is a great question, and I appreciate that, Psycho Magnet. Psycho Magnet. Thank you for reminding me. Let me pull that up, and we'll talk about that real quick, and then we'll get to the task at hand here with all these vegans, the dang vegans. We'll get to these dang vegans. Where did that go? James Aspie. Would you know my name? Petunia, if I saw you in chicken heaven, said, would you know my name? Petunia, if I saw you in chicken heaven. Dun, dun. Ah, da, 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 da. Here we go. All right, so James Aspie. James Aspie, I gotta say, James Aspie, you know, he's probably one of the most least insufferable vegan activists. Let's admit it. He's got that like cool, chilled out stoner vibe. It's like, I just do this for the animals, man. Right? I do it for the animals. Right? Check out my Patreon. Afterwards, we can go rip some bong. We can go skate the ball. We can go tuck into some green room shacks and go surfing. Right? James Aspie, he's the least annoying, least obnoxious of these vegan activists. But man, does he have some hypocritical posts. So his post here, he says, the best part about being vegan, knowing your lifestyle does not involve the suffering and slaughter of animals. The suffering and slaughter. The suffering and slaughter. So vegan diets there's no suffering or slaughter of animals. None of that. None of that stuff. All right, let's check out some of the comments here. Some of the comments, including my comment. There was another, where did that go? There was a really good comment on this. Or maybe it was on the other one. Here, we'll just scroll down to mine. So I've been trying to get James Aspie. I've been trying to get all the Earthling Ed, Joey Cobstrong, James Aspie. I've been trying to get you to come on, man. Trying to get you to come on for a debate, or we can just do a discussion. We don't even have to debate, dude. So I said, except for the billions of insects. Remember, he says the vegan diet doesn't involve the slaughter and suffering of innocent animals. And I said, except for the billions of insects, rodents, birds, deer, rabbits, snakes, small mammals, etc., poisoned by pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, and displaced, shot, or ground up in combine harvesters of your industrial monocrops. Also, James Aspie, should you pat yourself on the back for the third world debt slaves that have their cultures and countries destroyed by the IMF austerity measures and global megacorporations that use them to grow your cheap Monsanto soy and corn products that poison the soil and displace heritage crops? Luckily, the UN and WEF, that's the World Economic Forum, will soon help force them to give up their animal foods and ability to feed themselves on their own land so they can eat Monsanto Roundup fortified Beyond burgers instead of their traditional animal foods while they harvest your GMO corn and soy for pennies. Let's also not forget the African child slaves that mine the Congo for the cobalt you need for your methylcobalamin and cyanocobalamin B12 supplements. Are you unaware of this? Willfully ignorant? Or just hiding the reality from yourself because it's convenient and comfortable to stay an e-celeb slacktivist selling utopian lies? James Aspie. So most people are saying that he's not going to debate. Most people are saying he won't do it, dude. There's no way this guy's going to do it. But we'll see. I know Joey Carbstrong, he's not going to come on for a debate. A lot of these people... Right, Earthling Ed, these people don't want it, honestly. But James Aspie does seem like he's the least intentionally deceptive out of all of them. Right? I mean, they all use emotional manipulation techniques. That's the whole shtick. Right? Manipulate people emotionally in this effeminate game. Well, don't you feel bad that the animals have to suffer unnecessarily? Right? So then they trick other people into suffering the ill effects of a vegan diet unnecessarily. And so I pointed out the hypocrisy of that statement that he made there. We'll see. We'll see if he takes it. We'll see if James Aspie. You guys go ahead, go comment on James Aspie's Instagram. Be nice though. Don't be little weirdos. Like, don't be like DMing these vegans. And I know that's not my audience that does this wacko stuff, right? But don't be the idiots that just gives them somebody that gives them an easy straw man. Oh, look at these angry vegan phobes. Don't be a vegan phobe. So I responded to someone's comment too. I said, I think James Aspie is someone who wants to get to the core of the issues. He must value truth over illusion. He shouldn't have a problem with an honest discussion with another man. I bet he will accept when he sees these comments. It will be fruitful. Maybe he will convince me that we in the audience should be vegan, like the UN, the WEF, and billionaire philanthropists say. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. Thank you for the super chat, Psycho Magnet, and I appreciate you bringing that up. Everybody go over there and ask. See, don't be this guy. See, and so James Aspie doesn't respond to my comments, and I actually did DM him after I tagged him in a post as well to see if he'll come on. Right? But he does take the time to not only respond to this guy and engage with him, but to post the DMs between him and this guy who's saying F off with your vegan BS, blah, 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 right? Very aggressive. F your baked beans and your A. F you. F your vegan S up your A. I mean, don't be like this, jack off. Right? Engage these people kindly. Right? It's not about smashing these people. It's like we want to bring them on board. We want to bring them back to Team Humanity and get them to stop proposing these ridiculous dietary changes that are going to negatively affect your health and my health if we're forced into this. Like, so many people have already been negatively affected by vegan diets. There's James again. Looking like the vegan diet's starting to take its toll on James here. I mean, he got those filters. He's looking pained by it. So we got some people who are saying, would love to see you and Primal Edge Health have a chat. Here he goes. Have you ever tried not eating animals? A vegan world is a better world. A global shift towards a vegan diet is vital to save the world from hunger, fuel poverty, and the worst impacts of climate change. He didn't even read this quote. A global shift towards a vegan diet is vital to save the world from hunger, fuel poverty, and the worst impacts of climate change. So I guess, I don't know, he's paraphrasing maybe. This is a UN quote. The good grown-ups at the UN. So I said, when the UN, the World Economic Forum, Davos Elite, the World Bank, and global megacorporation members of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development are pushing your message, you know you're on the right side of history. All right, so we'll see. We'll see if he will actually step up and engage. I hope he does. I hope so. So James asked me, you guys go kindly comment on his post there and tell him what you'd like to see. Tell him what you would like to see. All right. So that's not what we're talking about. We got a lot to talk about. Here we go. Got one more super chat here. Thank you for the support, guys. Really appreciate that. iPhone Musings, $5 says, why are carnivores so mean? Making fun of a peaceful lady that got hit and dragged to death by a big rig. No one's making fun of this lady. Why are vegans so deceptive? Trying to make a martyr of a lady they don't give a shit about. Why are vegans so stupid? That's the question. Nobody's here making fun of this lady. We're here talking about the dumbasses who are accusing the driver who couldn't see this woman. They're accusing him of being a murderer. We're here making fun of the dumb vegans. It's very unfortunate that this woman died. Also very unfortunate that these vegans are trying to make a martyr out of her. And pretend like this wasn't something that was these activists' fault. All right, so let's check out some of these videos here. We've got vegan foot soldier. Guy wears a freaking sock on his head. Let's see what he's got to say. Vegan activist murdered yesterday. Murder. Guy wasn't there, but he knows it was murder. Somebody got hit by a car when they put themselves in front of a moving vehicle, yet it's murder. Vegan antinatalists think it's fine. They think it's fine to slay unborn children in the womb, but it's murder to eat an egg. All right. The word murder means nothing to these vegans. They throw it out there so flippantly. Milk is murder, meat is murder, eggs are murder. Yet, when somebody gets hit by a car, that they put themselves in front of, gets hit by a vehicle that they put themselves in front of, these people have already diminished the word murder to be so meaningless.
Hello people, so yesterday was very sad news because an animal rights activist who was active since the 70s, a legend in Canada, was killed by a slaughterhouse truck outside. They were doing a vigil, the Toronto Pig Save style vigil, where they give the pigs who are very thirsty after having been transported in this big truck, they give them water and bear witness to the pigs in front of...
This is the other word they use. They bear witness. They bear witness. So they put their fingers in there and they touch these animals that could bite their freaking fingers off. They stick these bottles in there. Who knows what kind of contamination is coming with these bottles that they put through the side door there, through these little cracks, these little air holes. They put this through the air hole there. All these pigs are in this transport vehicle, and they're all going to either start running to the side and fight over it and scramble over each other, or run away from these people that they don't even know, that are freaking them out. These pigs are not waiting for you idiots to give them water. As soon as they get into the facility, they will be able to get water and get off the truck. You're making them stay in the truck longer, you're causing a scene, and you're playing stupid-ass narcissistic games, LARPing like slacktivists on your cell phones so that you can get clips of yourself fake crying. So then you can go home to your 6 cats, pat yourself on the back, and tell yourself that you're a good global citizen because you wore your face diaper, you wore your little muzzle, your cute little muzzle mask, while you went and sprayed some water on pigs' faces, on 1 or 2 pigs' faces out of 100 that were about to go inside a facility where they would have water. We have to bear witness.
Slaughterhouse facility. And from what I understand about the situation, it doesn't really say in this news report, but from what I've heard indirectly, is that she was standing in front of the slaughterhouse truck, but like...
So like what I've heard, I'm going to go ahead and admit that I don't know anything that I'm freaking talking about, right, mate? I have no idea what I'm talking about, but what I heard, and he titles the video, all caps, vegan activist murdered yesterday. These people... Man, remember this truck driver? We talked about the truck driver. We made a whole video about vegan gains accusing him of being a murderer. But there's all these other vegans accusing him of being murdered. Michelle Lowe. Regan Russell update. This is murder.
So welcome to Grumpy Vegan.
Grumpy Vegan Granddad. Okay. Grumpy Vegan Granddad, boomer consumer, coming at you from his Coffin apartment with his monolith of worship in the corner of his room over there. All right, let's listen to Mr. Pinhole Pupils, Mr. Opioid Pupils, tell us what he has to say about it, right? This is murder, he says. This is murder.
Granddad.
Oops.
So welcome to Grumpy Vegan Granddad. I'm making this video today because of a great response from people on my YouTube channel. This is regarding the death of Regan Russell on a few days ago. I think it was Friday. And I'd just like to give everybody a bit more information because these people are actually over there. Some of these people are over there. And it's looking more like it was what can only be described as murder.
Again, I wasn't even there. This is just straight up hearsay. But this is murder. This is definitely murder. Olive vegan, animal rights activist Regan Russell, murdered.
I dedicate this song to Regan Russell, a beautiful, inspiring, unique, and intelligent activist that I had not learned about until her death occurred. She was murdered by a slaughterhouse worker who blatantly sped forward towards her at such a speed she could not get out of the way in time.
Olive vegan, everybody. Olive vegan. So these activists so bravely standing up. So bravely standing up. Here's this other guy.
So I come every Sunday.
Yeah,
here.
And oh my God, honestly, 12-year-old activist. Now, she was recently run down by a truck and killed at the front of a visual, at the front of a pig slaughterhouse. Now, this was very upsetting and definitely sent waves through the vegan community. And we're all very saddened by this. Now, I wanted to make a...
Oh, you don't seem very sad about this. You seem very happy to get clicks by this, mate. None of you knew this woman. None of you knew her. But none of you were there, but you're so sure it was murder. Vegan Gains, so sure. He knows exactly what's going on here. All right, well, let's hear from this gentleman. He's got a channel called Bubbles8V92, a relatively small YouTube channel, and I think he's talking about truck stuff on his channel, or maybe farm stuff. This guy's going to lay it out and tell you what actually happened, and actually lay out the physics for all you vegans out there. For those of you watching who are vegan, this man has what's called a job. Now, he also has what's called, probably has what's called this other weird thing, a family. It's when you live together with multiple people that you're related to, because when you're fertile, right, and you don't only put the pee-pee in the poop and you put it in the other place, you can make what are called children, which can make a family. Bear with me here. And you can love them, care about them, feed them real good quality foods, nourish them, and live with them and protect each other, rather than just LARPing online with your fake vegan friends like activists, right? So they have jobs and they go to work driving trucks. Yeah, vegans, you follow me? Let's hear what this guy's got to say.
This isn't my typical type of a video. I'm never in front of the camera. I don't like being in front of the camera. But something's come up that affects me an awful lot. It affects a lot of truck drivers. I haul livestock. I've lived on a farm all my life. When we haul livestock into slaughterhouses, there are sometimes protesters there. Now, as of a little while ago, protesters are not allowed to interfere with trucks hauling livestock. Also not allowed to trespass on farms, which are our homes. They say that the law is meant to hide animal cruelty. The law was created because malicious protesters were trespassing on farms, which are where people live, to go into bars.
Right. Farms are their homes, right? So when you work and you have a job, you can save money, right? You don't. It's that stuff that people send you on Patreon, right? You save the PayPal numbers. We'll say that for you vegan activists. If James Aspey's watching, when you save up the PayPal numbers, right, that your girlfriend's managed for you, you can buy what's called a home, and it's like a place where you live most of the time. Weird concept, but yeah, just in case you didn't catch that.
Barns cause all sorts of problems, not the least of which is biohazards. Animals are a lot more prone to diseases than they would think. I have to disinfect my boots and everything when I haul pigs. We're always very careful. We do not want any diseases to get into the barns. These protesters had no respect for the farmers, for anything like that. And because of that, these laws were created. It is to protect farmers, and it is to protect the animals on the farms and in the trucks. Now, even though it is illegal for the protesters to stop a truck loaded with livestock, they still do it. Now, recently there was a protester killed at a plant which I've been to countless times. I have seen the protesters, I have gone through their protest, their whole system, whatever they do. I've been there, gone through it. It's a little bit annoying. I don't care that much. They do get the pigs a little bit worked up, which isn't good. And they also prevent the pigs from going into the barn and getting water. so they can take their videos of them trying to give pigs water.
Do you see how screwed up these vegan activists are? Do you see how dishonest they are with themselves and with people who are watching their dumb videos? These people are trying to get home. They're trying to drop their load off and go home to their families. These pigs are going to get water. You're preventing them from getting water. And you're causing them to scramble to the sides to fight to see what's going on there, or to run away from you because they don't know you and they're freaked out by you.
A couple pigs will get a splash of water, but you're actually preventing the entire load from getting to water sooner. You're stopping them on a hot asphalt road. They're getting warmer, they're getting thirstier, and the protesters are preventing them from getting water. If you stick a water bottle in a truck, the pig will drink from it. If you stick your hand in the truck, the pig will bite it. If you've ever stood in a pen of pigs for long enough, they will try to eat your boots. That doesn't mean they're hungry. That doesn't mean they're thirsty. Pigs are like babies. Everything goes in their mouth.
Pigs are like babies. Did you hear that? They're sentient. Pigs are people too. Those are women and children and little four-legged, curly-tailed men in there. Pigs are people. We need to give them rights.
It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's another pig. Pigs eat pigs. Pigs will eat anything. Pigs eat snakes, they eat chickens, they'll eat moles. We had pigs in a pen outside when I was young, and anything that got in that pen, the pigs would eat. If a chicken...
Pigs will eat a vegan activist alive. They will eat you alive, vegans.
Got in the pen and the pigs could catch it, they would eat the chicken. Pigs eat everything. They'll eat rubber hoses, anything you leave around, they will destroy.
So they'll probably leave your dumbass Beyond Burgers sitting there on the ground in the dirt.
Okay? A pig biting out a water bottle does not mean a pig is thirsty. That is just a pig's natural reaction to something being shoved in its face. That and getting worked up. Which does happen.
We'll get some ice.
Now, in this particular case, at the slaughterhouse, you make a left-hand turn from the highway into the driveway. There is a gate at the end of the driveway, which is marking the beginning of the property, so they cannot stand there. They will stand in front of the gate, which they are not allowed to do. By law, they are not allowed to do that. As the truck makes its turn and comes up to the gate, they will stop the truck by standing in front of it. The system at that slaughterhouse has been they'll make you wait for 2 minutes. According to a third-party eyewitness account, the truck had been stopped for 4 to 5 minutes, which is not typical. Now, while the truck is stopped, a protester or 2 or 3, you can't see them, will stand in front of your truck. The last time I was down there, which was the afternoon before this incident happened, the only reason I could tell that someone was standing in front of my truck was by the tips of 2 fingers poking over the top of my hood. Just the tips. If that person had been 2 inches shorter, I wouldn't have been able to see anything. There was also someone standing beside them. I could not see them, but they had been there when I pulled up. Now, according to the third-party eyewitnesses, which is very important because you cannot trust what a protester says.
So third-party eyewitness, this doesn't mean, this is not vegan gains. I heard from an activist that he just had this crazy, mean, evil look in his eyes. And he was looking right into her eyes, and his eyes had flames shooting out of them. And he had steam coming out of his ears, and he was like, I want to kill you, vegans. I hate the animals. I want to kill Bambi and Babe the pig, and I want to slaughter 1,000 Babe the pigs because I'm an ignorant southern truck driver, and I'm drunk off my whiskey, and I'm driving drunk on the job, and I hate me vegans, and I hate me some animals. No, vegans. I'm sorry. This dude wants to go home. This dude doesn't want to kill somebody and have that on his conscience. This dude's trying to drop the pigs off and go home.
They are not trying to reveal the truth. They're trying to put their agenda farther and farther and farther ahead.
What?
And you can't trust someone that is trying to force an agenda.
Listen to him. He's just an anti-vegan. He's gaslighting.
That is why third-party eyewitness is extremely important. According to the third party, after 4 to 5 minutes, the protesters began moving away from the truck. The truck driver thought they were out of his way. Now, the person that got killed did not get out of the way, but was standing directly in front of the truck. And if you are standing here, the truck driver cannot see you. If you cannot see the truck driver, they can't see you. And in order to see someone standing in front of your truck, they have to be out here, which she cannot do because that would be the property of the slaughterhouse. So instead of getting out of the way, like the law requires you to do,
remember, everything they're doing is illegal. Stopping the truck, messing with the pigs. It's not benefiting the pigs. The pigs are not waiting for some cat moms to bear witness to them. The pigs are not waiting to just get a little sip of water. Oh, they're so hungry, they're trying to nibble my fingers. No. These pigs have been fattened up. They're ready for slaughter. They're being moved from point A to point B. The quicker they get to point B, the quicker they get water. But the vegans want to make a big narcissistic show out of it and pretend that they're somehow helping. Like the pigs just want you to bear witness. Like little Wilbur, little babe, they're just waiting there. They're waiting there on that truck for us to bear witness to them. And if we could just bear witness, if we just all bear witness, we'll stop the animal holocaust. The real animal holocaust. We'll bear witness. And then we'll go get our Beyond Burgers from Wendy's.
she continued standing there even after the other protesters had moved away from the truck. All the protesters that the truck driver can see have now stepped away. That is your cue to continue on into the plant. Now, if someone is standing here and you are turned quite sharply with a trailer on a decent angle going into a rough driveway, you are not going to feel if you hit somebody. When you let out the clutch, the truck rolls a bit, you have a bit of motion. If someone is standing right in front of you, you're going to hit them before that motion has settled down. Keep in mind, the truck only moved half the length of the truck before he stopped and knew what had happened. Now, if you listen to the protester's account, it sounds like he just came flying through everybody.
Right. But these same people who are saying this, right, Vegan Gains, who puts in the video, let's see. Sorry, I've got my video of Vegan Gains. So this is where the truck driver stopped. The woman is standing about where the cameraman is. You're not going to build up a significant amount of speed going from point A over here to point B where the camera is. Point A where the truck is, point B where the camera is. How much speed are you going to build up on this giant, how many wheels are on this truck? There's 16 wheels. Look at that thing. Right? Like this guy's going 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. He's in the Super Tesla space truck. And he just wants to kill someone so bad. No, this poor woman got killed by this poor truck driver who now has this on his conscience. Nobody's going to work as a truck driver thinking, I'm going to kill me some vegans today. Man, I just hate vegans. I can't wait to kill them today with my truck. Nobody's doing that. Nobody. Nobody wants a human being to die because their vehicle hits them anytime they get into a vehicle, unless they're seriously demented.
That's a lie. How do we know it's a lie? Because there's video of what happened.
Told you. All these people are there with their cell phones. They're not there to bear witness. They're there to bear witness, right? They're not there to bear witness to the pigs. They're there to bear witness to themselves through their phones. They're there to make social media posts. There are so many videos of it. Nobody's showing you what really happened. These vegans are just out there trying to take advantage of this poor woman's death, this unfortunate accident, and trying to call this trucker a murderer. That these people are so eager for some George Floyd type event where the poor oppressed vegans are being attacked and hurt by the mean, evil non-vegans. They're so eager to have their martyr. And it's sad. They're exploiting this woman who none of these people care about. These people don't care about each other. These people don't care about these people. They just want the clicks. They just want the attention. You think Vegan Gains, who's said so many times that he hates people, these people who love and worship Gary Yourofsky, who says he hates people, you think they really care? No.
The police were called, and charges were not laid. If the police had seen the video, and what happened in the video is what the protester said would happen, he would have been charged immediately. Exactly. So they're lying.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Everything we said in those videos this guy's corroborating. There was footage. The police came. He wasn't charged. But these vegans want to be judge, jury, and executioner. I'm sure they've already doxed the guy among their little vegan activist circles. And they're trying to ruin this poor man's life.
Now, I'm not trying to say that this wasn't an incredibly unfortunate thing to happen. Nobody wanted it to happen. Not the truck drivers, not the people working in the plant, not the protesters.
It seems like the only people that are kind of like demonically gleeful that this happened are these vegans. The vegans seem like they're almost giddy about this because they thought they had a martyr. But no, they just had somebody to exploit for a short period of time. And then they'll move on, they'll all forget about her.
Nobody wanted that to happen. For a while, protesters had been at a different location at a median in between the two lanes at a stoplight further away from the plant. They would stand on that median, they wouldn't get in your way. It was okay. It was mildly annoying. They would still step off the curb into the lane of traffic and put water bottles in the pigs' faces, which worried me some because I don't want to run over somebody's foot when I'm leaving the intersection. But they've become progressively more and more bold now, standing in front of the plant, which they are not allowed to do legally. It is incredibly unsafe. Standing in your blind spot with no regard for their own safety, which they might think is heroic, it's not. It's very careless and should never happen.
This guy's being very nice with his words. He's being very nice and very generous with his words here. So make sure to check out Bubbles 8v92's video. Maybe give him a thumbs up. Let's give this one a thumbs up. And already 11,000 people have seen this, almost 12,000. We'll also do a little bit more. We got a special guest coming on in about 10 minutes, 12 minutes from now. Anti-vegan, she's up in the chat. She's got a YouTube channel. We're going to talk about her journey. She's a former vegan activist. Now, all these vegans, they all call themselves activists, right? Most of their activists is just online in YouTube comments. But we're going to talk to anti-vegan. From vegan to anti-vegan. We'll figure out what's going on. What's going on with her? It's going to be fun. But yeah, let's finish up with this guy, and then we'll take some super chats, read some super chats, and then we'll have our special guest. She's going to jump on in about 12 minutes.
Even if you are a protester, you should look out for yourself. We've had other problems. We've had a dog that came into contact with the pigs while the pigs were on the trailer. While the truck was stopped at the fence, a dog one of the protesters' dogs had gotten in contact with one of the pigs. That load was rejected for fear of disease. What do you think that dog eats?
Beyond Meat? Kibble? These vegans, this guy's not that familiar with the vegan activist world. He doesn't realize these vegans will starve their dogs on a vegan diet. And they'll say, no, it's perfectly fine. Pea protein isolate, bro. No deaths involved. And when you look at how peas are harvested, they're harvested in Canada, shipped to China often for processing. And then these dogs, they're getting cancer from the shitty kibble that they're given by these vegans. But the vegans say, no, there's no suffering involved in this. Even though the monocropping ends up with more deaths than animals that are raised on grass and pasture. It's insane.
Do you think maybe it eats dog food? You know where dog food comes from? Dog food is made from the byproduct of a slaughterhouse, aka the amount of the animal that isn't fit for human consumption then gets rendered down into many different products like bone meal and blood meal and pet foods. Okay? So there's a bit of hypocrisy there, but I do think you should be able to have pets, and I do think pets should be able to eat. This has all resulted in a complete whirlwind of misinformation. Protesters hijacking this unfortunate circumstance to forward their own agenda, saying things about truck drivers that are completely horrific. So if I could say anything to a protester, it would be, it's not worth risking your life over. Number one. Number two, the ridiculous claims that have been made over this to promote the agenda have pretty brutal consequences that you might not exactly think of firsthand. Number one, everyone that is sick of the protesters is just going to devalue everything you have to say even more. If you make 10 good arguments and 5 completely outlandishly ridiculous arguments...
Dude, these are vegans. Again, I know you're not familiar with the world of veganism, but 10 good arguments from a vegan? This guy's being very generous.
You will completely devalue the good arguments you make. Saying one insane thing just completely ruins any credibility you have. Saying that the driver was trying to harm somebody. Why? Because he would rather go to prison than to spend 2 minutes waiting in a truck? No one takes that kind of a risk to not wait for 2 minutes. I mean, think about it. Why would he risk criminal charges, going to prison, not being able to support his family, losing his job? Why would he risk all of that so he doesn't have to wait for 2 minutes? Nobody would do that. And we know that's not what happened. So if you are a protester, obey the rules respectably. Because if you are respectful, people will actually listen to what you have to say. Being obnoxious, breaking the law, are just going to turn people farther and farther against you. It's going to turn the authorities farther against you because you are not listening to what they're saying. Rules that they have made to promote the safety of the protesters and of farmers. Because of the bolder and more ridiculous things that have been going on by protesters, maybe not so much in Ontario, but out in BC, and stuff does still happen in Ontario. Some pretty horrible things like letting barns of animals loose and having them die outside because they don't have a clue about what to do in the real world. In the name of compassion, literally sentencing thousands of animals to death outside in a world that they have no idea how to cope in.
See, again, the vegans want to actually cull all of these animals. They want to get rid of all of these animals. That's why guys like Joey Carstrong. Listen to what Joey Carstrong has to say. These people say, oh, there's an animal holocaust. Animal holocaust. It's going, they want to stop what they say. They believe there's an animal holocaust, but then when asked what do they want to happen to the animals, this is what they say.
Now the choice of you
I will.
kill human. But you give me another choice to eat meat humanely, then I will.
That's not the art. You're still an animal abuser. Listen, you can be a vegan right now, or you can choose to abuse animals.
So you're saying if everyone went vegan right now, you think it's sustainable for the earth? You think
That's
the
a
land population?
That's a hypothetical.
That's what you want.
Right.
If you right now you could click a
Right,
button and go, everyone's vegan.
We couldn't do that.
But would you choose it?
If we let's just say we click the button.
Yeah.
Everyone's vegan. The animal agriculture industry doesn't exist anymore. All those animals disappear. They all disappear. Yeah.
You choose that.
Yeah, they all disappear.
So you think with a landmass to
We don't
feed the
get-
whole population with just that?
Oh, 100% more. 1,000%.
1,000%. 100% more. You just click a button, all the animals disappear like that. These people want the animals dead. These people want them dead. All right, so anyways, he's made some really good points here. Thank you for this video. Truck driver stepping up. making lots of very, very good points. I wonder if he turned his comments off just because of all the crazy vegans commenting on it. I wonder. It seems like he's a trucker. Most of his videos are about trucks. Actually, gets lots of. I guess there's a lot of truckers out there interested in these vehicles. Look at that. Anyways, appreciate that video, man. That was good. Well done. All you vegans out there, I haven't seen any of you debunk what this man has had to say. I haven't seen any of you debunk what these guys had to say. We've got vegan Cronish. We've got soy Ryan Gosling here. We've got preemie Ryan Gosling. We've got Sith Lord Michelle Lowe. We've got vegan foot soldier, doesn't even show himself, calling this guy a murderer. We've got vegan grandpa saying that this was murder. We'll see if these guys maybe issue apologies. Will Vegan Gains give an apology to the family, to the truck driver that he accused of murder? Will Michelle Lowe give an apology? We shall see. Maybe they'll just get their pantsuit off of them. Maybe they'll get their little synthetic vegan pants suit off of them by this trucker. They sure deserve it. And Joaquin Phoenix paying tribute to animal rights activists killed by slaughterhouse truck. And it's all the vegans. Joaquin Phoenix, he just hasn't had any. Poor Joaquin. No attention lately. Look at him. He's wearing his face diaper. What a good boy. What a good global citizen, Joaquin Phoenix. Let's all give Joaquin a hand. Let's give him a hand, guys. All right, so the vegan misanthropists are probably reeling right now. They're probably not feeling it. We got some super chats. All right, thank you guys for the support. Really appreciate that. We're getting some super chat support on this stream. The last stream we did during the day. If you guys like it at this time, if you guys like these streams, support the streams, hit the like, hit the share, hit the thumb up button, and send those super chats. iPhone Music sends $5. Says shout out to my cats, Money Pretzel and Bunny. Is that 3 cats, or is it Money Pretzel and Bunny? Or is it Money, comma, Pretzel and Bunny? I like Money Pretzel. That's a good name. Money Pretzel. That sounds like a, I don't know, like a, if you had a automatic rap name generator, that'd be one of the names that could pop out. Resting Bitch Face and $19.99. Thank you, Resting Bitch Face. Winning the Super Chat competition so far, proving that Resting Bitch Face, she or he, I think it's a lady, if I remember correctly. Tell me if I'm wrong. But Resting Bitchface of $19.99 winning the Good Global Citizen Super Chat Award of the night, proving that she's the least racist and the least bigoted and the least bad global citizen and the most good global citizen by sending the most Super Chat. $19.99 says, have you noticed that they're no longer concerned about healthy diet? It's now all about my livestock, even if these people are killing themselves in the name of all my meat babies. Ignorant, one and all. No. Mad. Absolutely. Totally agree. And they'll tell you, what does a vegan diet have to do with health? A vegan diet has nothing to do with health. And if you watch my recent video on those annoying vegans, R.I.P. Petunia, sweet little feathered woman, who showed me how to be a real man, who showed me the meaning of life. Petunia, R.I.P., rest in peace. If you check out this video, she says in here too, it has nothing to do with health. Veganism has nothing to do with health. And she also says it's totally fine to feed the eggs to a chicken, but if you eat them, you're a bigot, racist, animal abuser who's eating chicken periods. But if the chicken eats it, it's for calcium and it's good for them. But if you eat it, it's cholesterol and it's going to give you heart disease. But if a chicken eats it, it's to replenish her calcium stores because she's forced by the evil humans to menstruate and lay eggs. They conflate all these terms. Chickens don't menstruate. These aren't periods, they're eggs. And they would much better suit you, vegans, than they would suit the chickens you're feeding them back to. If you'd let them roam outside and eat bugs and feed them just the shell of that egg, you crush up the shell and you give it to them, they'd be stoked. They'd be super stoked. All right, guys. We got a special guest coming up. I want to thank everybody for supporting with them super chats. Monkey, pretzel, and bunny. Oh, monkey. You said money. I thought you said money pretzel, so typo. Monkey, pretzel, and bunny, guys. 3 cats. 3 cats. You gonna have children? I hope you don't just live with those cats. Get some family going on there. But feed your wife, or if you're a lady, or I'm sorry, a person who can be impregnated. If you're a person who can lactate and menstruate, I don't know what to call that. If you're one of those, then feed yourself good quality animal foods for a few years before you decide to have a child. All right, so we got a special guest. Let me pull in our friend here. We've got Anti-Vegan. Anti-Vegan, she runs a show. She runs a YouTube channel. And...
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Oh my God.
All right, now you can hear me. Hold on. Let me see.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, and you can hear me, right?
I can.
All right, cool. I'm going to put my headphones on. And... Oops, sorry, I'm not going to be able to hear you for a second. Now I can hear you. Got the headphones on. Let me pull you in so that the audience can see you. You don't have to wear headphones, I don't think. I think it's just me. Yeah, I'll spare you. I could make you suffer through the headphones, but I'll be nice. You don't have to wear them. You're very welcome. Okay, so I'm here with... Here, let me pull you up here. There we go. Anti-Vegan. What's happening?
Hello.
Very nice to meet you finally.
Nice to meet you.
Great to have you on. Yeah. We've spoken in DMs. I mean, it was so long ago that we first encountered each other. I didn't realize it had been so long. Time's kind of blown by this year. It's crazy.
It's been about a year.
Yeah. So you've been never really vegan for more than a year then, right?
Yeah, it's probably a year and about 3 months or something like that.
Congratulations. I mean, as far as I'm not... You could be using some crazy filters or something. We don't know. The vegans will say you're using the TikTok filters, but you do look significantly different. You do look way better than you did when you were vegan. I see a huge difference.
Thank you. I feel a lot better.
Nice. So, if you guys don't know, she runs a YouTube channel called Anti-Vegan. Right? You can find her YouTube videos, and you could catch her pissing off vegans and making fun of the vegans. So, how'd you when'd you go vegan? How did that happen? How'd you get sucked up into it?
I guess it's one of those cliche things where I've always loved animals, you know, and I don't know if you've ever seen this video I made on my channel. It's about anthropomorphism and how we've been brainwashed through movies and cartoons and by our own parents, how, to humanize animals and things like that. And I really do feel like that had a huge contribution to me feeling like I had this deep connection with animals and with nature.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I've something I've kind of talked about here as well, right? Disney movies, and if you don't hate Bambi, you'll go vegan, right? If you don't want to kill Simba and Bambi and all the poor Disney creatures, you'll go vegan.
Exactly.
What year was that?
My favorites, God. Oh, what year did I go vegan?
Yeah.
Let me see, 2017. It was probably 2016, something like that. But I was vegetarian 6 years prior to that.
Oh wow, 6 years vegetarian. Was there like a moment when it happened where it was like, okay, I gotta go vegetarian. I gotta stop eating the animal foods, or was it a gradual slide?
No, it was one of those pathetic game changer documentaries.
Which one? Forks Over Knives or something?
It was one of those. It was a combination of seeing that Fat and Sick and Nearly Dead one, I think, and just a couple other ones. I kind of blocked out the titles.
Yeah. So do you remember like what it was? Was there a specific scene in that, or was it like, okay, this is it? Bambi just died.
Yeah.
Her mom, or Bambi's mom died, and Bambi's super sad. Bambi's crying. What was it?
Never Ending Story had it out for me, man. Atreyu.
All right, riding on that big shaggy dog.
Oh yeah, no, that was. I wish my cat was that big.
Maybe if you feed it a vegan diet, it could grow that big. Have you seen the Game Changers?
Yeah, I've seen it. So stupid. I've seen the Debunker too. I like that one.
Nice. I did like a 3-hour live stream debunking everything in the Game Changers too. That movie was
Awesome.
It was so bad. There's so many poor arguments used. One of my favorite ones that they use is, check it out, the gladiators were vegan. Gladiators were vegan, bro. They're the most strong, badass warriors in the world, and they were vegan.
What a lie!
But it's like these are literal human sacrifice victims. These are literally slaves that are being killed for public entertainment. These are expendable, less than beast creatures, the gladiators, who were being sacrificed for people's entertainment. And you're saying, check it out, they were vegan, dude.
Yeah, it's because they saw Joaquin Phoenix in Gladiator. I mean, it's so logical. Like these vegans, they're all just brainwashed by the media. That's what happened to me. I think one of the videos that really got me was like seeing the baby chicks being ground alive. But then after I became ex-vegan, I had someone send me a link of all these herbivores eating just chicks, just alive.
Right? Like horses and stuff. Horses will just grab them.
God, monkeys, it's wild. Just crunching it like, chips or something.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And it's hard to feel bad for little baby chicks when they're being fed to an animal. So how can I feel bad about eating meat when I'm an animal too?
It's unnecessary suffering.
Yeah.
Unnecessary, right? And as vegan as practicable and possible, you have to avoid causing the suffering of animals.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No worries. So that was, and you, all right, 6 years vegetarian, and then the vegan thing, was it, you went vegan after the chicks ground up, or that was vegetarian?
Actually, no, that didn't do it for me. That was one of the arguments that the vegans would use to try to convert me from vegetarianism. They would always ask me, so why don't you just take that final step? They're so desperate for another cult member.
Isn't that weird? It's like if they can just convert you to being vegan, then they're just saving innumerable Bambis and Simbas.
Yeah. Bambi. Yeah, all these movies are so depressing, and it's hard for me to watch any of them anymore. And especially like with all the adrenochrome references and shit. And then you hear Joaquin Phoenix at the Global and Academy Awards, and his speech is just a fucking joke. It's like, he didn't even address anything that Ricky Gervais said. He just said, oh, y'all need to try harder about the animals, Like, oh, it's all about animals. It's like, forget the people, the women, the children.
Yeah. No, we're worried about the non-human animals. We're not concerned about the human animals. There's too many. Most of them believe that there are too many people, right? There are too many people on the earth. Did you ever get into that idea? Like the universities, they just pump the kids' heads full of that.
Of course, the whole population control thing. And did you ever see that movie Watchmen? I remember seeing that movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, I totally get where the psycho is coming from. Like, he's trying to save the world by killing half of the world. It's just
that book or the graphic novel in that film, there's actually a lot of, like, that's Alan, what's his name? Alan Moore. That guy actually really does understand a kind of the inner machinations of the elite and how the world works to a certain extent. I mean, he's like, I think he's like a Golden Dawn guy. He's really into like Freemasonry and all that lame stuff. And but he's one of these. He calls himself a magician. I think he's.
That was one of my favorite kind of like superhero movies, aside from all these other cliche ones.
It's well done, but it does. It's like that. It shows it. It's funny when you watch it and I don't know, you're not just a normie. Most normies, they have the Thanos mentality already, and they already kind of believe like the Dr. Manhattan, what he came to believe about, he's like this mutant guy who was, anyways, a lot of people already had that mentality. But if you look at it from the outside and you see what it's really showing, it's showing like how the Watchmen are just they're just an allegory for kind of the global elite.
Like the Illuminati or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that word kind of gets played out like with all the...
It triggers a little bit because there's so many other... There's like the Bohemian Grove and I think Rosicrucian and there's all sorts of like crazy cults, and they're everywhere. So it's not just the Illuminati.
Yeah, I mean, I think people... There's a lot of like conspiracy porn or like, yeah, basically conspiracy porn, conspiracy candy type stuff out there. And then gets put, like a lot of the stuff gets put out of disinformation too. Like you have a little bit of truth and you just mix it in with like a bunch of kooky stuff so that when people hear it, they'll hear the lies and then they'll maybe go fact check it. And you give them, you give them like 10 good facts and then like 3 of them are BS.
Like Jones there, you just explained. And then, David Icke and Rogan, like all of them.
I mean, we're human too. It's like, it's so easy for us to miss the mark and to like, we're fallible creatures, right? We do stupid things like go vegan. But so, all right, so you went vegan. You were vegan, like actually vegan for almost 4 years. How long were you? I mean, you were never really vegan. Sorry, excuse me. For the vegans watching,
never.
She was never really vegan. She was never really in it for the animals. She was just faking. You were faking vegan for how long?
2 years.
2 years. What did you notice? Like, what were the effects? Because, I mean, if you look at, like, you got some pictures on your Instagram, it's pretty obvious that there is, like, a major change that you've gone through since leaving it.
Yeah, I lost a lot of weight, and I ate a lot. And I would make a big deal to everyone, oh, stop calling me skinny. I'm not too skinny. I eat plenty. And it wasn't even a clue that something was wrong, that I ate so much and couldn't gain weight.
Yeah.
That, the whole B12 deficiency, I would get pins and needles in my hands and my arms if I would lean on them. Major brain fog, all the cliche ex-vegan symptoms.
Yeah. You supplement B12?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I don't even know which one. I don't think that I knew there was a difference between B12s. I tried to educate myself a lot and I was doing everything that I could, supplementing with, calm magnesium, B12, omega-3s, calcium. It's just so stupid. A multivitamin, just all these things, just replacing my food, replacing my nutrients.
And did you feel like, when did you notice that this wasn't physically working?
I guess I never realized that it was that, but I did notice I was getting sick. And I was breaking out tremendously. And I found out that soy was like a phytoestrogen. And my holistic doctor told me about a year prior to me actually quitting veganism, I went to a holistic doctor. He told me that he was vegetarian for 8 years and that ruined his health, not even veganism. And that he highly recommends. And he gave me a Weston A. Price pamphlet, like all 3 of them. It was like a butter is better, the dangers of a vegetarian diet, and raw milk, the truths about raw milk.
Yeah.
And I remember reading it crying.
Oh man. Why were you crying? Was it crying? Were you liberated because you're like, oh, I can finally stop this, I'm gonna be better? Were you crying because like, I don't want to do this? It's
like subconsciously I was crying because my subconscious knew that was all true, right? But consciously in my heart and still I knew that I wasn't gonna start eating meat or anything. I told him, I'd be willing to eat eggs again, but I still didn't, even though I still waited like a whole nother year to eat eggs again. I don't know why. I was just so conditioned, so brainwashed. It took what I did was I took soy out, and it helped a lot. So once I took soy out, it helped me tremendously. But then after that, it was like I couldn't stay full. I was drinking these smoothies like this big, and for the morning for my breakfast, and then I would also have like tofu scramble for my breakfast. You know, like a major event for every meal.
When you say tofu scramble, what the heck are you scrambling in? Like fake eggs, or you just scramble actual tofu?
Yeah, tofu with like nutritional yeast and flavor, spices.
Yeah. Okay. And what kind of fats? Like, what kind of fats were you eating when you were vegan?
Avocado and coconut oil were my primary fats.
Okay, so you even actually had some saturated fat.
Peanut butter.
Did you crave fat?
Yes. I was actually talking to Avishek from Stop Being Confused About Health about this, how I would wake up in the middle of the night and binge eat, and it was always fats. Even if it was junk food, it was always fats.
What would be like the go-to? Like you wake up in the middle of the night, you're just craving something? Would it be peanut butter? Or
peanut butter, one of the major ones. I would go and I would just get a spoon of peanut butter and eat it.
Yeah. There's some protein in peanut butter, but it's probably not that you're craving.
Yeah, I don't know. It was always something salty, very dense, chocolate.
Saturated fat, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think I don't think any vegan doesn't relate to that craving fat. And what's crazy is all these vegans are trying to do low fat, like high carb. Right? They're trying to cut fat out almost completely.
That's terrible.
You see the deterioration. I mean, you've kind of documented on your channel some of the before and afters.
Oh yes. Notice and that's what I like about your diet. And I don't even think that you like to consider yourself on a diet, but I notice it's kind of like keto, carnivore, and you don't label yourself. So I truly appreciate that, because the carnivores, a lot of them seem to be like so restrictive, almost just as restrictive. And I think I actually made that comment. Remember, you made a stare thing, like from veganism to carnivore.
Oh yeah. That's what it was. That's the post, and that's when we first kind of like you had made a couple comments, and then so it was a picture. It was a meme, right? And it's like this weird looking kid, and he's going from the bottom step to like the 5th step, and at the bottom it's like vegans. It's pointing to the kid. It says vegan, and then it's like vegan, vegetarian, paleo, keto, carnivore, and he's just stepping from raw vegan all the way up to carnivore. And I was making a statement about like how funny it is that they go raw vegan to straight carnivore. Some of them end up like kind of needing to do it for their gut, right? And I'm not necessarily a proponent of like a straight carnivore diet for everybody. I think it's an option for some people, right? But you shouldn't have to remain there, right? Like you should be able to include carbohydrates. Keto is fine, but it's not the only way, right? It's like I eat carbs probably half the days of the year. Right, but it's like I did like 5 years of very low carb keto, but these are all tools in the toolbox. Like you shouldn't get married and attached to any one way of doing it, because eventually you're going to get sick of it. You can't paint yourself into a corner. It just makes you mad.
Yes. I kind of got triggered because I was like so annoyed that every single ex-vegan would go straight to carnivore, and I would see like I can understand that for the gut, to heal the gut and everything, but then I would see a lot of them like looking emaciated, and it's like not doing them any good. It's not like you and Bobby and a lot of the carnivores and even Kate, health coach Kate, she still looks so great. Like, can't say anything about you guys. Just like some vegans who are early stage vegans, you can't really say anything about them yet.
So you're saying that you're looking at early stage carnivores before the carnivore deterioration channels are going to start popping up to document?
No, at all. I think it's incomparable. But I just feel like it reminds me of the restrictive mentality. Like, and that's why I was so against going carnivore, and I didn't even want to try it for a minute. And then when I did try it, I found out that it really wasn't for me. But I also found out that my gut, because I tried it for about a week with just bone broth and trying to do the whole keto carnivore thing, which is fat, but I didn't eat nose to tail. I didn't do anything properly, but I did feel better with my gut.
There's a lot of different ways to do a lot of things. It's not like, there's only, you didn't do it right. You did carnivore wrong. You were never really carnivore. We don't care about all that, right? Like I'm just trying to get people healthy, Right, and it's like I agree with you. A lot of people, they take this myopic dietary view and they're looking for their new internet daddy in a diet all the freaking time, and they're just trying to find this new way of projecting all of their insecurities onto this one new idol. And I'm always trying to break clients out of that. Right, it's like some people, it's like, look, sometimes keto can be great. But I get a lot of clients where I'm like, well, why are you trying to do keto so bad? Why don't we just include some carbohydrates and structure it properly and do, a balanced diet, right? And there are different contexts that are going to require different approaches. And it's like, you see ex-vegans going from raw vegan to straight carnivore, and sometimes it could be helpful, and sometimes it's just like, well, no, why don't you eat some carbs and gain some dang weight? Or why are you going to do a hunger-dropping diet? Eat some carbs, gain some weight.
Exactly. It's like my grandmother. She lost a lot of weight. I would never, ever want her to only eat meat, without any kind of carbs. She needs fat.
That's why like milk is really cool. Like raw milk, milk seems like you can gain weight with less calories because of how easily digestible it is and because of how like dense it is nutritionally. It's one of those foods where it's like ex-vegans, raw milk. The ex-vegans tend to go towards carnivore because they're used to restriction, but it's like I'm always trying to tell them, hey, try some freaking raw milk, get some colostrum or something.
Well, I think a reason that they go carnivore is because they find out how they've been lied to about these plants, and all of that is true about the oxalates. And there's a reason why we cook our broccoli. You're not supposed to eat raw broccoli. It totally destroys your gut.
Yep.
Even my grandmother cannot eat cooked steamed broccoli. It gives her, terrible indigestion. So there's a reason we add butter to all these things. And that doesn't mean that we have to eat broccoli and spinach and all that crap.
Yeah, and it's like, look, you don't want the broccoli and the spinach, or you're worried about anti-nutrients. Well, hey, there are plenty of fruits that aren't going to have any anti-nutrient content. Mm-hmm. I mean, like a lot of people, I can digest bananas really well. A lot of people digest bananas, or some people do apples, but nothing wrong with carbs. So that was so you got kind of upset with that post. I remember that I think you posted something like, WTF, dude, like why are you trying to make all these people go carnivore now or something like that? And we had a brief friction clash.
And you were just like, oh brother, go and whine about it on your own fucking channel, because I can tell it's just I was new to the whole social media thing as far as my channel and everything, and I didn't realize all the backlash that you probably get. I didn't realize even with Daphne Reloaded, I made a whole video about her because she responded to my comment in a not so kind way. But when I look back on these comments, they weren't even that bad. It was kind of like a stern, oh brother, like a brother would respond to you. Okay.
That's how I try, and I didn't block you or anything. I think I just said look, just go whine over there or something. Go bitch over there.
No, you didn't. And then I think 6 months later or something, I felt so embarrassed, and I told you I'm really sorry, and you were extremely gracious, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not. I get it all the time. People get pissed. This is the internet. People get mad. I'll say something as a joke and they'll take me seriously, and it's why you're saying the population needs to be reduced? You're disgusting. And it's people. I'm like, no, I agree with you. I'm being facetious when I say this, and it's I make a freaking joke and everybody's like, nah. But yeah, it's all good. I'm glad that you. I remember you coming back at me. You're like, dude, sorry for getting all mad at you.
Yeah. I felt so stupid, but it made me realize, and also with a couple of interactions between, freshly new ex-vegans where they're just coming back to me, that we're not all there yet. And I was still very mentally ill.
You see, I gotta say, you seem when I looked at the picture today, I went through your channel and I was just looking at some stuff, and there was a video and you put a picture of you maybe a year or two ago, and then a picture of you now. When you were really skinny, but the skin tone, the facial expression, the posture, you had that oppressed vegan posture, right? That Michelle Lowe, it's in the hoodie, hiding from your thoughts. It's everything hurts, your thoughts are oppressing. It's
I know. And I remember that day I didn't feel that way, consciously. It's all in. It's yes, I felt like that all the time, and I didn't really realize it. It's like you have your highs and your lows, and depending on how well I was doing that day. But if you can see, you can't even see my collarbone anymore, but in that picture, you can see like them sticking out. It's
and the arms, like your arms and the bones there and the shoulders. But I gotta say, like, you look great. You look super healthy now. You got collagen in your face. You got fat where you need fat. It's like these vegan women, it's like they get all sucked in. It's like you could see all your cheekbones and stuff. It's like, that's cool and everything, but you should have like, you should be able to like feel some, you know, I mean,
Yes, I still have cheekbones. You know, like and they want to look like they're 13, or they want to look like they're still 16. The whole skinny thing is really weird. Like, I saw a picture, and I'm gonna post it sometime, where I took it like that, you know, looking down at my body, and I look like an effing stick.
Wow. Did you see that when you were in it? Did you see like what you looked like?
No, and I would only really think about it when I would see my dad, and my dad would, and this is where that Rebecca's World made a whole video about me saying that I did drugs. Like, and she put a video of a Coke bag and shit, like insane, making shit up about me.
Did you say that? Did you say like what, I smoked some weed or something? And
The reason she said this was because I said that my dad asked me if I was on drugs because I looked so fucked up, like especially when I had all this acne from the soy, and then I had like a real bad acne right here, and I read that if you put garlic and tea tree oil on it, that it will, you know, oh God, it created this huge burn. The holistic world is I was so stupid.
You chemical burned yourself thinking you're gonna help. Your dad thinks you got meth sores. Your dad's like, do I need to check you into detox, girl? Your poor father.
Yeah, my dad was really worried about me.
Oh man, I can't, like, dude, imagine how many vegans out there. Like, Freely's got a dad. Like, that girl has a father.
Yeah, and her mother, I think she turned vegan. That's sad.
Right? And it becomes this crusade of like, everyone around me has to suffer this with me. And if everybody around me suffers this with me, nobody can remind me that maybe I'm doing something stupid.
Yeah, and even my grandmother, when I would come over, she would say, "Would you like some rice?" You know, she would have chicken in it, and she would say, "You can just have some rice without the chicken." And I was like, "No, I can't have the rice without the chicken." It's just so stupid.
She just loved you so much. She like didn't want to fight with you about it or make you feel like judged.
Exactly.
And so your dad would constantly tell you like he's worried about you, or was it just like a couple conversations?
It was at the end stages of about a year before I quit, and then I got a little bit better, and I got rid of all that acne because I stopped eating soy. And then around my birthday, he started asking me again if I was on pills or something, because I looked so and like wiped out, and I never had any energy. And we were having a lot of drama with one of my family members, and he needed me to be there. And I was usually like a rock. I was very strong. Yeah. And I told him, "Look, you got to stop calling me for this. I'm done. I can't help. Like, I have to worry about me. I'm sick." I was doing affirmations every night.
Like, what were the affirmations?
Yeah.
What were the affirmations? What were the actual, like, what were you saying?
Okay. Like, okay. In my head, I thought to be healthy, I need money. Yeah. Right. So I would.
Right. You need all the supplements. You need to go see the specialists and all this stuff for sure.
So I am affluent. I'm abundant. I am wealthy. I am a money magnet. Okay. That was one of the things that I would say every night. And then another one was, I am healthy. I feel good. And you know, I can't remember them because I feel like I've just blocked out that whole period of my life. It was like, I'm healthy. I am strong. Yeah. Like things like that.
It sounds like there's like, I edited a couple videos, and when they're making the fake vegan cheese, it's like, I am not in denial. I am not telling myself lies. I am healthy. Dr. Greger is not frightening.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that cracks me up. I was laughing real hard when you were making fun of that idiot who got ran over by a truck. Like, fucking.
It's sad that she got ran over by a truck. These idiots who are trying to make her a martyr is what upsets me, man.
Yes, it's sad that she got run over by a truck, but she's a full-grown woman. And Another thing that I would like to point out is that where did it say that she was vegan, that they want to just claim her as their vegan martyr? Like, I haven't seen anything about her being a vegan. She could have been a meat eater.
Maybe they probably would have shamed her and whipped her with lashes if she ate eggs or something, if they knew. So they have a way of vetting people. It's kind of like Scientology. I think they get around in a circle and they just rapid fire ask her questions and they watch her eye movements and they see if they're like steak, ribeye, and if your eyes move in a certain way, it's like this opening scene in Blade Runner, they can tell if you're a replicant. They know.
Oh, it's like Scientology, that vegan cult. They hold things against you that you told to them, that your friends, like I'm talking about my old vegan friends, like you would confide in them and ask them, hey, okay, so my sister's boyfriend, he would actually relate to me on a lot of my symptoms when we didn't know that it was veganism that was causing it. But then once I became ex-vegan and I started trying to talk to him about it, it was like, no, that doesn't happen to me.
What? So you knew vegans in real life. Like that's a step up from most vegans. Most vegans only know them online.
Oh yeah, no. And that's the thing, is my sister's vegan and my boyfriend was vegan with me and her boyfriend was vegan, and we had like our little clique, and then we would go to these vegan events, and so I knew a lot of them in real life. And I saw that you were friends with Matt Monarch, and I remember like back in 2005 or something.
Oh, wow.
He was on, right? He was on there or maybe
I met Matt in 2000 and like late 2010.
Okay.
And he was renting a house, and I rented a house from him out there. And then and
he had his buddy and his kid, right?
His wife wasn't pregnant yet. She wasn't pregnant yet, but this was before he really deteriorated really quickly before everybody's eyes. So like I met Matt, rented a house from him, and it was so funny because we're renting this house from him, and we had this dog, like this little beautiful puppy. Her name was Duchess. She ended up dying of it was a really tragic death. She was an amazing dog, but we were making chicken soup for her. I mean, it was years ago. Like once you have children, like all your dogs that have died, it's like it doesn't matter quite as much. Like they're not expendable, but man, like we've lost.
You love everything, but it's just a completely different feeling having your kids, of course.
It's so different. So we had this dog and we're feeding it chicken soup, and I'm like making chicken soup in the house, and it's like, and this was when I lived in that house, it was like motivation. Like, oh, I can definitely be vegan. Like this guy hasn't eaten meat in like 7 years or whatever, 10 years or whatever he says. He's like, all right. He's like kind of crazy, but this guy's like, he's on it. Like he says like the colon cleansing is the way to go. Like you got to do enemas and shit like that. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can be like actually vegan and not eat cheese like twice a week or eat meat once a week. I'll go like actual vegan and I'll try it out. Because I've been like plant-based, like leaning in and out of like vegan for a week and then eat some meat, feel better, start the cycle over again. Maybe if I eat more nuts, maybe if I eat more avocado, I'll include coconut oil. I won't crave the fat if I include coconut oil. That was stupid shit.
We're just big experiments on ourselves. That's all we were.
Right? So I'm making this chicken soup. And like so hungry for it. It's wafting into my nose and the whole house smells like chicken soup, and I'm making it for the dog so I don't have to feed the dog the kibble. And I'm just thinking, this is crazy. I want to eat this so bad. And at one point, so I wasn't even ethical vegan. I'm just like, I got to do this. I know I can go a few months without meat. I put the chicken soup in my mouth just because I wanted it so bad. And I just tasted it like, you know what? I don't need to swallow it. Spat it out, and then the dog licked it up out on the porch, and it was so pathetic. And I'm not even ethical vegan, never really was actually vegan ideologically. It was madness. And it was like, that was my taste of like, wow, this is
and such
freaking
a waste
nuts.
of a spoon, like,
dude,
such a waste of your nourishment. And not only that, it's just throwing it away. Throwing away food is like a huge sin.
Yeah, it was bad.
But that's what they do. Have you seen these pranks? These vegan pranks where like the vegan boyfriend pranks his girlfriend into thinking that she ate meat, but it was really just another vegan thing.
Is that statutory rape?
Well, he doesn't really give her meat. He says they start eating, and he says, I got these while they're eating, I got these new sausages, and he shows her the package, and it's like a package for like real sausage, but it was really like a different vegan brand on the plate. And the chick, she just starts like throwing up and shit on screen. It's like, if you already chewed it and you thought that it was meat, why don't you at least swallow it? Like, you're gonna really waste. You're a vegan and you're gonna waste that bite. You know, you're just gonna throw it away. Like, that's their mentality.
What you're not seeing is the ones where the girl actually stabs him in the neck with a fork.
I've never seen that. Wow.
No, probably not. It probably doesn't happen. These vegans don't have enough
I thought
energy.
you said
They don't have enough energy for that one. But I mean, I wonder like how, like if there's any ones where they're like, we can't publish this. This is too violent.
Probably. I think that is kind of like statutory rape to trick somebody into eating meat if they don't want it. It's like, I wouldn't do that to anybody. They have to make their own choice on that. And
yeah,
I wish I could force feed my sister a burger or a steak.
Just tell her it's a Beyond Steak. That's what I'm saying. I got the vegan couple. They agreed to eat Beyond Steaks with me, and then I had to tell them though, because like you, I'm an ethical non-vegan. I told them that
Right.
I'm just joking with you. It's not really a Beyond Steak. Sorry guys.
Oh, idiots.
So
They give themselves away. They all do.
yeah. So were you what about like the activism part of it? Did you do some hardcore online vegan activism with like anonymous handles, or how was that?
That's one of the things that one of my friends had said, like, oh, when you were a vegan, you didn't care about the animals. You weren't doing any vegan activism, because I wasn't going to these events and holding up computers, the V for Vendetta masks and shit. Like, because I've never been about activism. I'm kind of like with Bob Dylan. Like, I don't know if you know the whole story with him and Joan Baez, I think it was, that she was like a huge activist and he wasn't. And that's pretty much like what pulled them apart, is because she thought that she could change the world. And he's like, no, dude, you can't.
Yeah, he didn't care about any of that stuff. He wasn't an activist at all.
Well, he just didn't think that it would do anything. And
Yeah.
that it's purpose.
Dylan's a weird one. Like I used to really like some of his music, especially some of his like really like his lower, like Just Like a Woman, that song, and like
He's a puppet. He's a total.
He
literally said he sold his soul to the devil.
Right, that was a funny clip. That was a really weird clip. But then he said he became a Christian later in life. But then I don't know. He was a strange guy. He's still alive.
Well, I think
he's still
if
alive.
he did, because I don't believe that you can sell your soul. Yes, you can sell your soul and give it away, but you can save your soul too. I think you can always get it back.
Yeah, I wonder if he got a portion of it back, because he has kind of disappeared. Like you don't see him. To give Bob Dylan credit, you don't see him out there like saying fight the hashtag climate crisis and all this nonsense, right? Like he's not out there with Paul McCartney. So maybe he got it back. Hopefully.
Yeah, I really liked Walk the. Was it Walk the Line?
I like Johnny Cash, man. Johnny Cash is cool.
No, not that one. But yeah, Johnny Cash is cool. But it was a movie.
But not Joaquin Phoenix Johnny Cash. Oh, I know you're talking about with John C. Reilly.
Yes, that one.
Dewey.
Dude, that's hilarious.
What was that?
Dylan's so good.
What was it? Wasn't his name like something Dewey?
Walk Hard.
Walk Hard.
Yes.
Walk Hard was funny. That was funny. John C. Reilly's hilarious.
Yeah. And when I was a vegan, I tried to watch that movie and I couldn't fucking watch it because of the whole machete thing. Chopping the brother in half and then at the end with the dad. I couldn't even.
That's so funny. You were so vegan you couldn't even watch it. What about so you didn't like any violent movies when you're vegan?
At the end stages, I thought it was really weird because I was so into psychological thrillers. I really liked movies that made you think. And it just so happened that a lot of them are kind of like horror movies. So I was trying to watch these movies and then I was having nightmares and I would get anxiety. It was too realistic for me.
But then, all right, so then when you start eating animal foods again, well, first of all, what was it that made you say, okay, I'm getting out of this? Well, actually, first, I got a couple super chats. Let's read these super chats and then we'll get into how you left veganism. So thank you guys in the chat for supporting the stream. Much appreciated. You guys, we got some supporters of the stream who want to see more of this stuff. If you want to see more of this, support the dang streams. We got iPhone Musings. He's a vegan. He sends $5. iPhone Musings is really helping keep this afloat. We got the vegans showing some love. He says, anti-vegan, welcome to the John Venus Punk Club. Whoa.
Whoop, whoop.
You're a punk. He doesn't like you. He's got a bone
I'm
to
a real
pick.
motherfucker. You fucking vegan rebels don't even see that veganism is mainstream now. You can't listen to punk anymore. You're not rebels. You're not renegades. No.
I remember as a kid, I used to listen to like NoFX in like elementary school, and they have like that song about clams have feelings too. I didn't realize they were serious. I think they're actually like that guy's actually like a vegan.
Yeah, like Morrissey.
What's his name? Mike, Fat Mike.
Yeah. Oh,
He wears makeup and stuff too. That guy's a dork. But I did used to like their music when I was in elementary school. It was like edgy.
Yeah. Well, this is a good point, is that vegans become neurotic, compulsive, obsessive, and a lot of them are really great artists because of that. And I think it's a lot to do with mental health, because they become obsessed with their art. Like I remember one night spending 6 hours, even though my hands were hurting and real bad from doing wire wrapping on my jewelry, and like it's not right. It's like you're on drugs or something.
That makes sense.
It's like you're wired out.
Mm-hmm. You're hungry. Hangry.
Yeah.
Mag sends $5, says 5 Canadian bucks. Oh, Yoki people know the true sacrifice of sweet Petunia. Can we ever be complete without her? I think not. Bless your beautiful heart and soul. R.I.P. Petunia. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Rest in pieces. I wonder if this story is even true, because we have a lot of crisis actor shit, and I know it's like we didn't see it happen. The people that were around saw it happen. I know it's probably real, of course. It's just,
I think Petunia's CGI. She's too beautiful to be real. Like she's so angelic. Like I think maybe she's a figment of all of our imagination. Psycho Magnet says £5, 5 British pounds. He's off to bed. Psycho Magnet, thanks for supporting, man. I appreciate that. Says I'm off to bed now. 2:40 a.m. in the UK. Can I get a Petunia duet to send me to sleep? Cheers, you massive bigots. Wow. Would you call my name if I saw you in chicken heaven?
In chicken heaven? Yes. That's I've been sad.
Petunia, we miss you. Vegan Phobic, hey, Vegan Phobic, one of my favorite channels out there. Vegan Phobic sent $4.99. Thanks, man. Many vegans on YouTube secretly went into hiding to escape the vegantology cult, harassing public shaming and harassment. Avoiding public shaming and harassment, rather. What do you think about that? You think the vegans are just, they don't even want to come out and say they're not vegan anymore. They just kind of go, I'm out of here.
I think a lot of them, I think that's how most people would be.
Right. I mean, if you were vegan and you maybe didn't make your living doing that and you just had a hobby channel, I'd just like delete the channel if I went as vegan.
Or if your health didn't deteriorate as badly as ours did and you just quit, you were lucky enough not to hate and feel like you've been cheated and feel like you've been manipulated and lied to because you got out in time, then I can understand. Because I knew a couple of people when I was vegan who were like, oh yeah, I used to be vegan, and they were really cool. And I just remember thinking and telling my other friends, and they would always say, oh, they were never really vegan.
Right? They were never vegan. They did it wrong, idiots. Never vegan.
Hey, man. And these people don't think that they're saying anything like that has been said before. They think it's new.
Right? They're like, hey, I don't think she was really vegan.
Whoa. Yeah. My best friend at the time told me, and this is one of the things that kind of broke me out of the mind control of the whole cult. And I started really hating the label vegan, and I started hating hearing the word vegan. Because every time I would go eat with my sister, oh, we're going to make vegan pizza instead of just saying pizza. We're all fucking vegan.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to say vegan pizza every time? Why do you have to say vegan this, vegan that? And so my friend, she told me, oh, I don't think that people can truly have compassion if they eat animals. And I just remember thinking, like, my grandmother is the most compassionate person that I know. That's wrong. And I told her that, and it created this dissonance between us. And then by the time I finally quit veganism, she was like, oh, I can't be your friend anymore.
What? Best friend.
She was my best friend at the time. Yeah, we had formed a strong bond over like a whole year, and we're hanging out like every single day. We're little tree huggers.
Yeah. You're like so much compassion that you're hugging the trees. Well, we got, iPhone Musings is the vegan in the chat. He's floating the live stream today with these super chats. Thank you, iPhone Musings. Sends $5. I think he probably agrees with your ex-best friend. He says, it was not veganism that messed this girl up. She is not vegan.
It's not.
And she is still an idiot. Ooh, so you're an idiot because you're not vegan. So, but I guess if you went vegan again, he'd probably say you're pretty smart. He'd probably say, you know what? This girl's a sharpshooter. She's vegan. She's really cool.
Yeah. And by the way, I just turned vegan right now. How about that?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So what do you think? If she's vegan, your comment, it switched her. She's vegan now.
Yeah. You convinced me, man. Thanks.
So you're no longer an idiot. Now you're a genius, and you're everything you need to be until you decide you were never vegan again.
You're everything you need to be. That's like some army of one shit.
We are vegans, an army of one. One for all and all for one. Vegans.
They want to have their own vegan island.
What would they eat?
Fucking trees.
Fried
sticks.
tree. Today we're gonna eat fried trees and sand. We're gonna make sand pancakes today on the vegan island.
Yeah. In case you know that there's a tribe that actually makes like pan bread or dirt bread or something like that.
No.
They cook it in the mud or something. They cook it in the dirt and they create a pit of fire in the dirt, and then they put the raw dough underneath the dirt. It's so weird, and then it comes out all cooked.
Is it only it's got to be a specific kind of dirt? Like it can't just be any
like
dirt.
No, it's specific kind of dirt.
It's kind of cool.
It's like some clay, weird clay shit.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean, it sounds interesting.
It's vegan.
Is it vegan? It's probably not vegan.
Yeah. Have you seen these YouTube channels that they have the little old ladies and they're creating like meals for the whole tribe, and they're all vegetarian meals. And it's sad because you see kids walking up. I'll send you a link next time.
Were they like starving people?
They all look so vegetarian.
Are they a cult?
No, it's just a tribe. They're poor. They can't afford the meat. They would eat it.
Is it India? Where is it? India?
It's India.
India's a mess, man. I feel bad for a lot of these Indians. These tribes, they get pushed off their land by like these NGOs. They go in, Sadhguru and these people, and they go and they say, oh, we're going to plant the trees. We're going to save the earth from the climate crisis. And they kick them off the land. And these people get kicked off their ancestral land. Right? Oh, they don't have a title for it because they're not involved in that system at all. So they kick them off their land, displace them, and then where are they going to go?
That's basically what's happening to even regular farmers.
Right. Yeah.
And like Monsanto's completely fucking everything up.
Yeah.
Their seeds are being spread everywhere. We're screwed. So vegans are totally fucked.
Yeah, but they're not contributing to suffering. So they got that.
But so how come it's not contributing to suffering when they're using their tractor to kill moles and mice and all sorts of rodents?
You think you're so smart. It's unintentional, okay? Unintentional, not intentional.
I am smart, damn it.
They have all these answers like they think this is some sort of a legitimate response. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no.
Veganphobic sent the it says it's Haitian mud cookies. In Haiti they make mud cookies.
Thank you. Okay,
Haitian mud cookies. That's crazy.
I thought that was very interesting that you could actually do that.
That's wild. You know, I would pull up the video right now. Thank you, Veganphobic chat. You guys check out Veganphobic's channel. He's got a different chat channel, keeping himself safe or something. I got to ask you, maybe you tell me in private why you do a separate chat channel. Maybe that's something everyone should do. But yeah, check out his channel. I can't play it right now though because I can't figure out this audio thing. I have major audio issues. I can't feed my microphone and my desktop audio through into Zoom or Skype. I used to be able to do it with the same settings that I have now. It just doesn't work, so I gotta figure it out.
It's okay.
Veganphobic, thanks, man. So we'll check that Haitian mud cookies out next stream. I like that idea. Well, I mean, there's Weston Price talks about in his book how a lot of these people would eat clay. Right, clay is dirt. You know, and there's clays here that people have been eating for hundreds of years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's clay. I mean, it's magnetic, right? These clays are very magnetic, so they'll bind up to minerals. They'll bind up to metals and stuff. So if you get a sour gut, like if you food poisoning or something, clay, just like activated charcoal, right? Activated charcoal and clay is, I always keep clay around. People use bentonite clay. That's a really good one. Diatomaceous earth. Like these are actually good things to have in kind of your natural medicine cabinet. These are things
I would put like a clay detox cleanse with my cousin, but all of that is so redundant when you're not even. It's like I was trying to cleanse myself out, but of what?
Cleanse all the flesh. Look at this. I have animal food all over me. I gotta cleanse it. You gotta cleanse your cheek, cleanse cleanse the dimples, right? So you just have bone on your face.
Yes, literally, my body ate my face and my ass and my everything.
All the lady parts gone. But yeah. I mean, so how long did it take you to start kind of recovering from this, right? Let's get back into we jump right into we let the chat dictate the conversation a little bit too much. How did you leave veganism? Like, what the heck was the final straw to get you to say, you know what, this is not working for me?
It was my 32nd birthday, and all I had to do was go to my family's house to celebrate my birthday and blow out the candles, and then I could go home. And I didn't want to do that. I was so lethargic. I didn't want to go, but I forced myself to go. And then my sister, she didn't show up on time, and she gave me, see, I'm still thinking like that. I got a major panic attack because she didn't show up on time. Oh, and then my dad, my boyfriend, and my grandmother and my other sister saw me like flipping out, and I never really had seen that. And they were all looking at me with these worried faces, and I broke down crying. And then when she showed up, it made me feel better, and I was like, oh my God, I love you, I'm so glad you're here. Wow. It was like I thought that it was because I was worried about her, but it was really just a chemical reaction. My body was having some kind of hypoglycemic episode or something, and where I got overheated and my heart was beating super fast, and I was having like a panic, something to do with my thyroid, because I felt fluttering in my thyroid. But anyway, I went home and I made myself chicken. Like I went and bought chicken, and I made myself some like chicken tenders.
Did someone tell you like, hey, eat some freaking meat, or you're just like, I'm eating chicken, I'm done with this?
I had already been reading I found out I had adrenal fatigue and a hypoglycemic and all these things, and I was already trying to like search for what was wrong with me. And in the China study and all of these little holistic books, believe it or not, they all would say fish, salmon, or bone broth, or red meat for adrenal fatigue and all these symptoms that I had, right? So I started thinking, I was trying everything, Tristan. I was already eating eggs, actually. So technically, about a week before that, I started eating eggs.
Oh, so you already were never vegan.
Well,
debunked. All you vegans, you can relax now. She was never really vegan for a whole week. It's all good. She did it wrong. Come on, she did it wrong. Don't listen.
So I was vegan for 2 years before I decided to eat eggs for a whole week, and it was great, and it did help me like satiate me and everything, but it still wasn't enough, and I was still drinking my smoothies and everything, and I was poisoning myself with all these raw oxalates. Like spinach and kale was my main staple for my smoothie, and I would every day, like clockwork, have a panic attack when my boyfriend was supposed to be coming home from work, and it started happening. And so then after that week of eating eggs, the next week was my birthday, and I had already eaten the eggs, and I was already reading all that shit about steak and bone broth, and I don't know, I just, after the birthday and seeing my family like that, I thought I need to try something else. And in my head I thought, if this doesn't help, then that's it. Like I was willing to eat the chicken, and then if it didn't work right then and there, go back to veganism, you know?
So you're like, one bite, if I'm not, if I don't levitate and like all my life force comes back and I get perfect sleep, then I don't need to do it anymore.
Right. And so then it took me like a whole nother couple of days after getting another panic attack every single day after that. So finally I had bought salmon, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to tried the whole pescatarian thing.
Yeah.
It's so pathetic. It was all in steps.
Yeah.
So it's all like convincing, like a little girl, like, oh, but if you do this, you can do this, and it was so pathetic.
It's so cool how honest you are about this. So many people that go through this stuff, and it's like they don't want to really talk about how deep they went into this like starvation. I mean, this is not. It's not like she's just making this up, right? I mean, she legitimately panic disorder induced from dietary restriction. So you get so starving, you get so hungry, you get so sensitive to everything around you, and you see it over and over again in these vegans. But then the vegan ideologues, they still want to brush it aside and just say, oh no, like she did it wrong, or she's just crazy.
I wasn't eating right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and any time that my best friend had seen me eating a donut or a cookie or any kind of vegan junk food from one of these events, or if I happen to make vegan cookies or something like that, then when I became ex-vegan, all of a sudden I ate terribly and I ate nothing but junk food.
So your friends are discrediting you, like to your face. They tell you this?
To my face, she told me that, and then behind my back to Raw Vegan Ginger.
Okay.
One of them went to tell her, oh, she was, because that indica fruit muscle fitness.
Okay, I don't know.
And she had these raw vegan plans, and I was so desperate, I told you, that I was even thinking about raw veganism. Thank God I didn't do it that way.
Right? That's like end stage.
Like $100 for my, end stage. That would have made me sink so much quicker. I probably would have ended up in the hospital.
Well, it's crazy. Some of these vegans are watching right now. They're like, oh, she did it wrong. Oh, she was thinking about raw veganism. She did it wrong. We don't have to listen to her now. It's like discredited.
Right, but I was eating a whole foods plant-based diet. That's how I was. I was trying, and I was supplementing, and I was trying so hard. But why should you have to try so fucking hard just to survive, just to eat?
Yeah. Right? Why do I have to think about it so much? And if I just eat a steak, I'm going to feel better. So that chicken, what did it do? You got the chicken?
It wasn't really good. It was like store-bought chicken from that you could put in the oven, and it was already covered in batter.
Oh, yeah.
A really bad choice for me. So then the next thing I ate was salmon. And the thing is, they gave me energy, which is what I liked. Yeah. I didn't really enjoy it, but I did notice that I wasn't so hungry. And actually I was able to last all till dinner, which before I was always snacking in between. And then finally I started getting my own chicken and making my own chicken, and I was eating chicken every single day. The first time I ate that real piece of chicken, I felt like a warm sensation and like the chills like in my body, and you feel like the saliva.
Oh, that's funny. So you felt your like enzymes being created in your mouth differently? Like it was like your mouth came alive? That's crazy.
Yeah, man. And then the next week I tried a steak, and I remember crying while I'm eating it. And then I'm chewing, and my jaw became like lockjaw, and I couldn't chew. I had to take breaks.
Oh, because you didn't have muscle in the jaw. Did it feel good though? Like that chewing on the steak? Did it feel visceral?
At first it did, yeah. But then like by the end of your steak, it's like, oh God, you got to take breaks. Kind of like when you're trying to get back in shape again.
You're like, all right, there's one set. I'm done with that set. Maybe I'll do 2 more sets. Yeah. That's crazy. That's so amazing. So the steak and all right, so chicken, salmon, and then steak and
yeah. Then I still wasn't anti-vegan. I was still like, oh, I'm going to go back to vegetarianism or veganism once I get better.
Right. Like maybe just like a week or 2, and then I'll figure out what supplements I need.
I'll figure out what's really wrong with me and what,
Yeah. Like I don't need this. This is just temporary, whatever. I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
You tell your best friend? You tell your friend that was...
I told her, and that's when she cut me off. And I fucking ripped her a new one. I was like, fuck you fat fucking bitch. Like, oh, man.
Oh, no. So you completed it. You burned, she set up the demolition of the bridge, and you pulled the trigger.
I always told her, I'm devoted. I am extremely devoted. But when somebody fucking crosses me and fucks me over, I cut them out like that. It's so easy. And I had no sympathy for her after she showed me that she didn't want to be my friend just because of what I ate.
And you were friends before she went vegan?
No, we became friends while we were both vegan.
Okay, so she was vegan longer?
Like a year longer. She was, just like about a year longer than me.
She's still vegan?
She had been vegan for years. Yeah, she's still vegan.
Yeah.
Her and her boyfriend. Her boyfriend, they're such beautiful people.
Yeah.
Like, they really are. I don't hate them or anything, but they're just caught up in that, and her boyfriend's so skinny.
It's sad because they don't. You see that movie, The Machinist, with Christian Bale? Yeah, it's like he doesn't understand what's really going on. He doesn't see what other people see.
Yeah,
it's a crazy world. Like, when these people, they get so malnourished and they don't even realize it. They think everything's okay, and their family's constantly telling them, "Look, you look sick. We want you to."
It's everything else but veganism. It's me getting old. It's soy. Sugar, too much sugar. I'm not eating enough protein. And it's like so obvious that you're being pointed in the right direction. Your body is telling you exactly what it wants. Like, if you ever pass a restaurant and you smell the food, it smells good, I mean, to most people, I would say.
When you were vegan, would it smell good? Like, if you go past the steakhouse?
Yeah.
You're like,
And we would make comments like, "Oh my God, it sucks how good it smells. I hate that it still smells good to me."
Yeah.
And we would all be like, "I know."
But one is like, it doesn't even smell good. Like, I'm so vegan. You guys aren't even vegan enough.
Well, actually, I was talking to Sky from You Did It Wrong.
Okay.
And she genuinely said she felt that way, that it grossed her out, that she was so vegan that it actually made her sick.
Her affirmations worked, right? Like, the mantras worked. As practicably as possible. As practicably as possible. That's crazy. We got a super chat here from Delbridge. Delbridge, thanks, man. He's always showing up with them super chats, coming through and supporting the channel. Appreciate that, man. Sends $5. Says, a lot of people are buying the Beyond Burger meat, thinking it is healthy, and it is worse than the feedlot beef. Yeah, more animals are dying for that. Did you ever try that? Were you vegan during that?
Oh, yeah. At the end stage veganism, that was one of my staples I would have to have. I had one of my friends tell me that she ate it every single meal for her protein. And so I was like, I guess I got... Yeah, and at first it was okay. It's like, with all the dressing on, if you make a burger and you put all the dressings on it, and you're so lacking of taste of everything that you've ever eaten, then it's like, okay, this is okay. But I don't know, after you eat it over and over again, you start to taste what it is, chemicals. And it smells like chemicals in the patty, like before you cook it.
Oh, really? It smells weird? Like, you open it up,
smells
like,
like... Yeah.
I'm so glad I've never smelled one.
You know, formaldehyde smell, it smells like that.
Oh, yeah. That's gross.
Right?
It's got a bunch of preservatives in it. Like, how do they keep it? I wonder how long it's shelf stable.
Dude, and real beef smells so good to me now.
So good.
It's weird. You know, I remember when I was a little kid, I had this neighbor, and he was like, I was like 10 and he was like 7, and he would always come to the backyard with a handful of hamburger meat, just eating it.
Raw?
Raw.
My children, our children, they love it. Ariana and Ryder, when we get fresh, like open up a fresh bag of ground beef, we'll get ground brisket, and they just want it raw. I want raw ground beef. I think it's been a couple weeks that they haven't asked for it, but there was a period where they didn't want us to cook burger patties. We would make patties for ourselves. Cool. And they just wanted it raw. I would give it to them. You know, there's nothing wrong with raw meat. Raw meat's more safe than raw veggies for the most part, as far as like salmonella, food poisoning.
Yes, it's not the meat that gives you salmonella. It's the salmonella that gives you salmonella.
Well, most people get food poisoning. It's not from meat. It's from like salads. Your salmonella.
Hummus.
Hummus. Wow. Was it store-bought?
Yeah.
Crazy. So the Beyond Burger was a staple. And what about the Impossible Burger? Did you try that one?
I tried that one too, but just once. It was better.
Impossible's better. They have the GMO heme, the fake heme.
Yeah. They put some kind of Soylent Green shit in that.
Right?
Aborted baby fetuses in it or some shit, so it's not even vegan.
Oh man, you're not even vegan anymore. You ate the Impossible babies. iPhone Music, you got your buddy here. He's going hard. iPhone Music sends $5. iPhone Musings, he gets to stick around because he helps support the chat. He helps support the streams. So we like getting your vegan super chats, and we like your carny super chats.
Cool.
He says, crop death though. Ooh, this little girl. No. Crop death though, 2 exclamation points. This little girl is a joke. She makes John Venus look smart. She does not even understand how an oven works. You don't know how an oven works.
I put my oven to 400 degrees, preheat it, and I put like 10 slices of bacon in the morning. And then I get some sourdough bread and I put a whole half thing of butter and I fucking bake it at 15%, at 15 minutes, and it comes out so crispy and good.
Petunia! Stop it. Stop. You have to stop.
Have you ever heard that? So vegans, they hate bacon. Yeah, well, have you ever heard of baby bacon?
Is that Beyond Baby?
It's real life satanic, fucking evil satanic shit. So why aren't they complaining about this shit? You can go and see like plenty of like court, like official legislation interviews where they're talking about all the satanic shit that's happening, all the child trafficking and people eating babies and shit. But yeah, let's make sure that the pigs have enough water, but forget all the people in Africa, thirsty.
Yeah, but did you know that chickens are being ground up? Do you know that baby cows are separated from the women cows, their mothers?
Yeah.
Don't you know
but
that?
But they put to their mothers. Did you know that?
But did you know that you don't need to eat animals? You can be so healthy. Have you seen the Game Changers? Have you seen Dr. Greger? Where's my Dr. Greger gif? Have you seen Dr. Greger?
Yeah.
Did you know that if you did it right, you could be like that? That could be your future.
I did look like that. I did look like that.
Your boyfriend could look like that.
Ew.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm scaring the audience. What's more scary? Satanic cult eating babies or Dr. Greger's salad? Dr. Greger's salad.
Do people not think about how these doctors look when they take advice from them?
What did you think? Did you know Dr. Greger when you were a vegan?
I knew who he was. I don't know why. I didn't think anything of him. I didn't think he didn't look healthy. I thought he was old. Yeah. I think that's what a lot of people think, that he's old.
He's 23 in this picture. That's 23-year-old Dr. Greger.
Shut the fuck up. No way.
I'm 65 and he's 23. No, I'm just kidding. I think we were born the same year. Were you born in 87? You mentioned your 32nd birthday you went.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Me too. 1987.
What's your birthday?
May 9th.
On February 6th.
There we go. Close. You're a few months older. You're my elder. I gotta respect you. I'll do my best.
Nice.
All right, so
you're I have more respect for you.
I have more respect for you. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna have a respect off.
You hang up first.
Did we just become best friends?
I love that damn movie. Brothers or Step Brothers.
That's a good one. Will Ferrell's he used to be pretty funny, but now it's like everything he does just seems so forced and creepy. Ever since you see him at the spirit cooking thing, like with Abramovich and stuff, he's just he's weird now.
Creepy. It makes me feel like he's one of those adrenochromes.
Hopefully not, because my childhood had so many memories of goofy Will Ferrell. Back in the day, when SNL was actually kind of funny. In the last years of SNL, before it just became full on awful.
The cowbell, and then one of my favorites was the cheerleaders, where he had the little girlfriend. They're funny.
I drive a Dodge Stratus. That was a good one. He just plays the angry father at the dinner table who yells at his family for no reason. That was good.
I have a feeling that a lot of the symbolism, these actors honestly don't even know what it really is.
No, they don't. They're just trying to get jobs. A lot of these people, they have no idea what they're doing. Like they're just dummies who trying to get jobs. Do you have is that a Chihuahua? Show the dog. I knew that was a Chihuahua when I heard his bark. Is it a male? Is it a male? He's a boy, right? A little
Yeah,
male.
he's a boy. Say hi.
Is he vegan?
Okay. No.
Was he ever really vegan?
He was never vegan. And he's one of the, sorry, my dad's telling my dog no. He's one of the things, the creatures that made me like appreciate steak. Because when I was eating steak with him, he was so excited.
Nice.
And he made me guilty.
He was like your therapy dog. He was like, I'm eating steak. This is so good. You're like crying. He's like, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah. Saved your butt. He figuratively and literally saved your butt.
Yes, he did. Mwah.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So, all right, so during the transition, what about the boyfriend? Like, was he vegan with you?
Yeah. And then when I came back, luckily he was like, whatever, I don't care. He was just down for anything.
Oh, that's so cool. You didn't have to convince him. He's like, yeah, I'll eat a steak with you. It's all good.
He was real supportive. Actually, I could tell whenever we would go like to his cousins or something, and they would make like a pot. They were actually paleo or something, and they made some delicious pot roast. And I could tell he wanted that pot roast, but he didn't eat it just because of me. And I told him, I was like, you can go ahead. Like, I don't care if you eat it.
What if he did? If he did, would you have been like, you know what? Maybe I can have some too. Like, do you think you would have?
No, at that time, definitely not. I was so conditioned at that time.
Would you have would you have guilt tripped him afterwards? Like, like, go ahead and do it. And you're like, I can't believe you did that.
No. I really didn't feel that way. I never did. I guess I'm really lucky that I just had half of a brain left. I don't know.
That's cool that he was cool with you. Like he said, you know what? We're done. I wonder did you talk about it? Like, did he see a major change in you and just say, wow, she's feeling better and looking better. Let's not do this anymore.
He saw a major change in my health when I was sick, especially.
Yeah.
And he saw that I was willing to do anything finally when I actually was buying meat. I remember asking him because it was his money and I was shopping and I could only shop on an app. I couldn't shop for myself. And I told him, is it okay if I get steak and chicken? He was like, yeah, dude.
Give me some too. Put that in there for me. Yeah, double that order.
Right.
So why could you only shop on an app? Me too.
I didn't have the internet or anything. I was making my breakfast and then I would have to leave my dishes in the sink and then lunch would come and before lunch, if I wanted to make something, I would have to wash those dishes before I made it because it was so backwards. And then after I ate, I couldn't even wash them afterwards because I spent all my energy washing the dishes before cooking. So I'm like, and then I would end up with like this filthy kitchen. It was just sad. I had no energy.
So you had to ration your energy to yourself throughout the process.
Yeah. And I was going to vendor events and I was having like major back pain. And I would have like crazy panic attacks too sometimes, like if I had to set up and my boyfriend would leave the table and leave me by myself for a minute, I would like kind of have a panic attack like until he came back, like just weird illogical reasons for having a panic attack.
How soon after starting to eat animal foods did this stuff start to change?
Immediately. Wow. Immediately, with a week or two, and then after a month I started gaining weight again. 2 months, I noticed my face had filled out.
Were you scared to gain weight?
No, I wanted to gain weight.
Yeah.
I was already at that point where I fit into a size 00.
Wow. Oh, man. Your dad.
Yes.
Your dad must have been so patient. Your poor dad.
Yeah, dude, I know. You're right. And I felt so bad for them. When I saw the look in their eyes, it was a huge incentive for me to try something different.
Yeah. When did they first notice that you were better?
I guess I spent a lot of time at home. So the next time I saw them, I was already a lot better, like maybe a month later.
What'd they say?
that I looked better. My dad said, "You look really good today," instead of like, "Are you okay?" And,
Yeah. How did that feel? Did that like kind of stoke the fire? Like, great, I'm on the right path. I'm done with that shit.
yeah, it feels good to get compliments, especially when you're a little girl and you get compliments your whole life, right?
Yeah.
And then your dad starts saying you look like a drug addict.
Right.
And it's because not because he's trying to insult you.
Did you
And
think
so
he was
people-
trying to insult you when you were in that phase? Like,
Oh, I was insulted. I was so hurt.
did you push back? Like, no, like you're being a dick.
Not with him, because I knew that he just loved me, and that's just the way that he's very honest and brutally honest. But with my ex-boyfriend, I ran into him. He was like, "I don't know how to say this, Tuesday, but are you okay? Like, you used to have a lot of curves and you don't have any anymore, and you're really skinny." And I remember I just like was like, "Fuck you, you're an asshole." And I get in my car and I started crying, and and then he's, I'm sorry, like, you're still beautiful. And he had to tell me that I'm still beautiful for me to not feel so insecure. I did have major body dysmorphia, and I was very insecure with my body when I was that skinny. But now that I've been gaining weight and everything, I feel a lot better.
All right, so growing up, I mean, the body dysmorphia thing, my mom, she used to always have the magazines because she worked in like the fashion kind of industry. She worked for Nordstrom, and she would always have like the Cosmo magazines and the Glamour. So I'm a little boy, and I'd like look through these. I'm like, this is fucking nuts. Like this stuff is making these women insane. Like, I mean, I remember being like 12 years old and thinking they are destroying your women with these magazines and all this stuff. And then my sister got into like Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears, and I'm like, this is freaking like this is madness. Did you?
Yes, it's like that for just everybody, not just vegans. Like, there's these, I have an aunt who, she's like 53 years old, and she's keto, and her body looks great. Like, she looks like she's probably like 30 or something. Her body looks great, but technically I don't think she's healthy.
Yeah.
It's like she should have more weight. She's too old to be that skinny, and it's not like she's fit where she has like a lot of muscle. It's like, I don't know, the
like
keto
ribs
thing.
popping out and stuff.
Yes. And so it's not just veganism, you know.
For sure.
Sorry.
For sure. I mean, the whole fitness industry, right? The fitness competitors and stuff. Like, I won't coach fitness competitors. I'll coach recovering fitness competitors. I won't coach, like, if you're trying to compete in fitness as a woman, especially, I'm not going to coach you.
And not even just in the fitness world. Just think about all of these tarts. Like, I think of Ariana Grande and Miley Cyrus, and they look like teenage boys or something. They look like 12-year-olds. It's like a pedophile look. Like, what is up with that? Why are women thinking to look like they're 12?
It's really obnoxious. Yeah, it's sad.
Obnoxious.
I mean, it's like this ritualistic of turning, like they take the little Disney starlets. The Disney starlet grows up through the Hollywood system and eventually becomes, blossoms into a whore before your very eyes. Like, that's the ritual.
Like a monarch sex slave.
Yeah, it's like Britney Spears. She was in the Mickey Mouse Club, and then she was, the first music video was her dressed up as a schoolgirl, singing about an abusive relationship, openly singing about abusive relationships. Crazy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And she was, how old was she? Was she like 18 in that video? How old was she? She was young.
No, I think she was like 16.
Whoa.
And that's when that was on TV. And
99, right? Like,
loved her.
MTV, what was that MTV Countdown show where with Carson Daly?
Carson Daly.
Right? And you wake up in the morning, like I used to wake up in the morning, I'd be like 11, 12 years old, and we first get cable. I wake up at like 6 a.m. before my parents get up, and I'd go and like watch, and they'd always have at like 6 a.m. It was always a bunch of girls in bikinis dancing on MTV. And be like, no doubts playing, like, sorry, I'm now walking on the spider webs. And it's a bunch of girls like in bikinis dancing around. I'm just like 12. I'm like looking at the boobies, looking at the butts, looking at the boobs. It's just like already, I hadn't even seen porn yet, but I was addicted already.
Yes, and they addicted you already. And it's the TV. I totally understand now, and I didn't before. I always used to think my neighbor, that her parents were so crazy because they didn't let them watch TV, or they, not that they didn't let them watch TV, they just didn't own a TV.
Yeah, I had like neighbors, they couldn't watch Disney movies. I'm like, your parents are so dumb. Like, what a bunch of idiots. Yeah. And now I'm like, my kids have never seen a Disney movie.
Yeah, like I never watched the Disney movies.
Right.
Except for maybe like Lion King and the classics, but yeah, none of the stupid ones.
That's funny. Like all the Disney movies, it's all about an animal that's anthropomorphized and humanized, and sexualized, and the parents die. The parents are always dead, and then they just become under the spell of some witch or something, and then they have to.
You're right, and that's another thing that they do on Disney a lot on their TV shows and in shows and movies is they always degrade the parents or the adults.
Remember Full House? It's like it's a bunch of men raising little girls. All men raising girls, no women around. Where are the moms? They never talked about it.
They never talk about it. It's weird. It's programming, I think. Yeah. It's to destroy the nuclear family. It's to create the nuclear family and destroy traditional family. That's what I think.
For sure. No, it's funny. It's our generation got just slammed with all this nonsense.
Yeah, but I think the generation after us is way more fucked. Probably. We're lucky. We still remember before cell phones, before the internet, like.
Right. Yeah.
So do your kids watch TV or anything like that?
No, they don't. I mean, they'll watch specific things that we can, our writer loves watching tractor videos, so he'll beg to watch. He just wants to watch videos of tractors moving dirt.
But there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Like, educational things.
Yeah, they'll do that, but they don't watch fiction stuff. They don't watch fictional movies.
Yeah.
They don't miss it. This is the thing. People, that's like child abuse or something. You're not showing your kids Disney movies. They don't have time for this. Like, they take care of animals. They have an imagination. These kids, they run around all. They have such vibrant play with each other. They don't need all this fake stuff. They don't need to be entertained. They entertain each other.
Mm-hmm. They should be playing with each other.
We couldn't entertain each other when we got video games. We had TV. We got that robbed from us.
Yeah, you go to neighborhoods now and you don't see anyone playing basketball anymore. You see like these old, like rusted basketball hoops and shit in the driveways. And where are the kids?
Yeah. Delbridge sends a super chat. We gotta be careful. Remember, guys, and everybody in the chat, I see you guys are keeping it clean. We know YouTube likes to get tight with this stuff. And Delbridge is being nice, and he's not being too naughty. He sends a $5 super chat, proving that he's not racist. He's also black, so because he's black, he also proves that he's not racist. A lot of the celebrities in Hollywood are transformers. They deliberately do this to influence children and teenagers to develop psychological issues. I'll leave it at that, and I'm not going to expand on that much because I'm not trying to get kicked off of YouTube, but it's a very interesting concept, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on with the Hollywood stuff. And Hollyweird. It's
totally. You can't unsee. Yeah, you can't unsee it, and it's gonna ruin movies for you. It's gonna ruin television. It's gonna ruin everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's some good films, and they slip through the cracks, and it's like humans make it, and it's inspired by real life for sure. But there's so much going on, and there's so much. It's about programming your unconscious mind, programming your behaviors, and creating a bunch of repeaters out there. That's really what it's about.
Totally agree with that. My iPad is about to die on me.
All right. Well, you know what? We've got it's been quite a while. We've been going for 2.5 hours already so far. So we could wrap this one up. Maybe I'll stick on and talk to the chat. If you guys want me to stay on, we could cover a few other topics. And anti-vegan Tuesday. It was really good talking. And I'm glad you could come on. I'm glad that I got to finally get to actually know the real anti-vegan. And you guys make sure to check out her channel on YouTube, Anti-Vegan. She's out there.
Thank you.
She's out there slaying the vegan myths and triggering vegans out there. Anything else? Anywhere else people can find you?
Just find me on YouTube and on Instagram.
Right on. On Instagram, she's got a bunch of period in between every letter. There's a dot, right? It's a period between every letter. Anti-vegan on Instagram.
Yeah.
She does a good Instagram. Tuesday. Fantastic talking to you. Really good meeting you. Anything you need, let me know. Hit me up. And thank you for wasting your battery on us tonight.
Thank you, my brother. You're doing an amazing job with everything you do on here, spreading the truth.
Right on. All right, sister. I'll see you soon. We'll talk soon. Whatever you need, let me know. It was good getting to know you.
God bless you and your family.
Likewise. God bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Anti-vegan, everybody. Oops. Anti-vegan. Here, I'll come over here. Liberated from the animal liberation cult. Which is cool, right? She got out. She got out right in time. 2.5 hours we've been going so far. How long have we been going? Let me see. Maybe even longer. We've been going... How long have we been going? I started at like 6:45. Who knows? All right. You guys want to do more? I got some more stuff we can talk about. I've got a bunch of things pulled up here. Maybe we should just wrap it up. That was Tuesday from Anti-Vegan. Look at all you bigots in the chat. What's going on, guys? Bowerbird, what's up? Take off your blinkers. We weren't allowed outside to watch most TV and had to play outside. We weren't allowed to watch most TV and had to play outside. Otherwise, the old man would backhand us. There you go. Take off your blinkers was raised not on the TV. My dad used to call the TV the idiot box when we were little. The idiot box, he would call it. Oh, how the times have changed. Isn't that crazy? And a lot of people, they understand what's going on with TV. They understand that it makes people stupid. They understand how dumbed down it is. But we still get caught up in it. All right, what else we got going on here? You guys want to keep going? Maybe we should wrap it up. All right, we're going to wrap it up, guys. I'll do another stream soon. I want to thank the ones that do support the stream here. We had a few super chats tonight. Really appreciate that. That's what keeps these going. You guys send the super chats, the streams keep going. You don't support the streams don't come. So I appreciate the support we do get from you guys. We get zero support from YouTube. I'm going to set up the Streamlabs. I don't know if you guys like Streamlabs. Streamlabs doesn't take a cut. YouTube takes a cut. YouTube takes a cut. If you guys got any last questions, you can send it via Super Chat if you want. If you want to support the channel here and you don't have Super Chat ability, you can support by becoming a member, primaledgehealth.com/membership. There's a link down in the description below. You can become a member. We do weekly coaching calls. That's the best way to get in touch with us. A lot of people are wondering, some people ask if Jessica does coaching. If you get in on the weekly coaching calls, she comes to those and she spends a lot of time curating our private members forum as well. So that's a good place to reach us. Membership site down in the description below. If you just want to support via donations, we still have to get, I still don't have a Patreon link, but we did set up the Patreon account. But there's a direct PayPal link down below where you can support. We appreciate those of you who do support the stream. Those of you who don't support the stream, consider it. Consider it. Consider it, guys. P.O. Box, says someone. No, I don't have a P.O. Box, man. I'm sorry. I do not have a P.O. Box. Someone asked what I think about Freemasonry. Super lame. We've talked about this a couple times. Super lame cult. It's Luciferian in its core. And actually, Orthodoxy is actually one of the few groups that actually denounces Freemasonry. So you cannot be Freemasonic and call yourself Orthodox. So we don't believe in that Luciferian nonsense. We don't believe in that crap. But no, I don't have a P.O. Box. We don't even live in the U.S., man. We live in South America. We're down here in one of the vassal states of the empire. We're down here in Ecuador. Someone's asking about library. I haven't been on that site. There's really no other There are really no other websites where you can publish content, video content. Nobody else can actually nobody else can handle what YouTube can handle. You can't live stream in other places. All right, so I appreciate the support, guys. We don't get much support, but we do get some. And those of you who do support, we appreciate that. We'll keep doing these streams as long as we get that support. Someone's asking about, why are you guys asking about Freemasonry? The stream had nothing to do with Freemasonry, which is super whack. If you guys want to learn about Freemasonry, read Albert Pike. Read Albert Pike's Morals and Dogma, which I read in 2009. It breaks down all of the Albert Pike, whose statue was recently taken down. Albert Pike's book, Morals and Dogma. Lots of bullshit dogma, very little morals in it. Read that. Manly P. Hall is interesting as well. I mean, they openly admit that it's Luciferian. Somebody says their father's a Freemason and says it's not Luciferian. Read Morals and Dogma. Openly says right there. All right, so what else? What else, everybody? What else? We've got a lot we can talk about later on. We'll do another stream later maybe tomorrow or Thursday. Probably Thursday. Can't do 2 streams in a row. Can't do 2 streams in a row. Let's read some chats here. I'm just waiting, hoping we'll get some support on the stream. Sometimes people send those late super chats, but maybe I'm just wishful thinking. I had my you guys wonder what I was drinking. It wasn't beer. This is my tonicine. A friend of ours brews this. So I have the tonicine. This is made from chichona, this bark from a tree, and they have these giant, beautiful, like steel vats that they brew this stuff in. The tonic water, really good. I have some of this, and actually had a little bit of our friends' homemade whiskey tonight in honor of. We talked about whiskey a little bit earlier. Some of the whiskey. It's been a month since I've had any whiskey. We had our. It was a fasting month. Captain Jimmy sends $1.99, sends a thumb up. There you go. There you go. Captain Jimmy supporting. The fact, says Batty Goal. All right, that's cool. You guys make sure to check out what else is going on. Jay, you know what's funny? Jay just did, you can't even say the guy's name. Jay just did Ali Jones's show, did the host of the 4th hour, the producer got in touch with Jay and invited him on, so that was cool seeing Jay get a little bit of recognition. His channel got demonetized. Shout out to Jay Dyer. What else is going on this week? We've got some good stuff coming up. Trying to see if James Aspie will accept the debate? Will James Aspie will he take a break in between his bong rips and surfing to do a debate, bruh? Will he do it? Will he do it? We do not know. So you guys go tell James Aspie you want him to do the debate. Come on, do the dang debate. Christ-fulfilling prophecy. There we go. We get some support. I just got to bug you guys about it. I just got to bug you stingy viewers. Christ-fulfilling prophecy sends $5, says Freemasons ride the Hershey Highway. You know what's what they consider the Holy of Holies? They have the veil, the apron. What's behind the veil? The Holy of Holies. And what is that? What's behind the veil? The apron around their waist? What's behind that if you lift up the apron? It's a really dumb cult. Very manipulative. The lower levels don't know anything. The upper levels understand a little bit more about the symbolism and stuff, but it's manipulation. All right, we're gonna talk about some of this stuff next stream. We'll do that next time. do this next time. We've got a vegan activist who rescued 16 rabbits, killed nearly 100 in the process. And we got some really funny vegan videos that we can watch. There's just always, here's the thing. A lot of people are like, why do you care? It doesn't matter what people eat. Why, the vegans aren't bothering you. Look, these people want to abolish our way of life. These people want to abolish what we're doing. These people want to abolish animal husbandry. We feed our family off our own land. You know what's so cool? We're actually able to feed a majority of the calories that we eat throughout the day. In fact, today, I had a steak today. I did have a steak today. The first steak in a little while. I've had like 2 steaks this whole month. It's been a fasting month. But today, most of the calories that I ate are from our own land. These are abolitionists. They want to abolish animal husbandry. They call us murderers for eating animals. And they're not just LARPers. They've got billions of dollars of lobbyists behind them. We're lucky to get $100 in super chats for 4-hour live streams. These people have billions of dollars going into their movement. Billionaire philanthropists, global mega corporations, big banks, all bankrolling the ideal of veganism, decreasing your meat consumption, cutting you off from your ability to feed yourself. This is why we push back. Because we can feed our families off our own land. On a small piece of land with chickens, cows, sheep. If I had patience for goats, we'd have some goats, but I don't care about goats. They suck. That's why we care. That's why we push back. Because we want you to be able to feed your own families on your own land. We want you to be able to feed your own family on your own land. People are freaked out. Why? You didn't have a steak almost all month? Yeah, I only had a couple steaks this whole month. Was eating actually mostly vegetarian this month off of our own land. Whoa, crazy. Goats are awesome. Ask Joel. Goats are not awesome. Bowerbird. I know you. You're the one who kept saying my cow was going to have twins. Clearly, you don't know what you're talking about. The cow did not have twins. There were not 2 calves. Thankfully. Bowerbird, you're naughty. So yeah, goats, sheep. No, goats are cool if you have patience for them. I'd rather have sheep. Goats give more milk than sheep. We don't get any milk from our sheep. We don't milk the sheep, but I'm gonna get milking sheep one day. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of dairy, eating a lot less food from outside our property. All right, so doing eggs, some dairy, lots of dairy. All right, I mean, I can tell you what I ate now. Somebody sent, if you guys got any questions, you can send them via super chats. If you guys got any questions about specific things, you can send super chats. But I see a lot of questions. People are wondering, what is it you're eating right now? So today, I woke up, I had water. I woke up and I had some water. Then I had like 2 bites of what's called no pressed cheddar. And it's a cheese. It's not an aged cheese. It was a cheese that was made like 2 days ago. Grabbed 2 bites of that, dipped it in salt. So some salt and cheese. And then Jessica had like iced coffee and she was like, try this. So I took 1 sip of her iced coffee. Then I went and milked the cows. Milked the cows, came back, went to the fridge, drank some whey, some cold whey. And then I went to town. Spent about, it was my only, like I go to town like 1 day a week. I leave our property like 1 or 2 days a week. So went to town, milked the cows. That took a little bit longer than it would have liked, but I got the job done. And I think we got about 14 liters of milk today from the 2 cows. 14 liters of milk from the 2 cows. Got the milk. Went to town. Took care of business in town. Got some chicken wire. What did I get? Chicken wire, gas tanks, propane tanks. mineral water. This Guiti mineral water is super good. Got some of that. Actually got some plantains. Kids like plantains, and just like a couple pieces of fruit for them that they like. These things called pitahayas, dragon fruit. They're really good, except they make you poop a bunch. But our children like them. I don't eat them. So I got them some fruit. Brought some bone broth to some people that we sell bone broth to. So sold some bone broth, and then came back home. And then I ate. When I got home, I made, after like an hour or two at home, I made this special drink that I make. It's really good. I usually make it at like 10 or 11 if I'm going to have it. And we take coffee and we put it in ice cube trays. So you take a cup of coffee, you put it in an ice cube tray, 12 cubes of ice. Crack the ice into a blender, right? Vegan appendage. Put it into my blender. Trans vegan, remember, trans vegan. Put it into the blender. 1 tray of ice cubes, coffee ice cubes, 1 cup of coffee in the blender. About maybe almost a liter of milk. And I try to get a liter, but a liter will make it way too full. So it says like it's at like the 5 cup line. So a little bit above a liter. So it's probably 3/4 of a liter of milk. Pour it into the blender and then take some raw honey from our land. So our honey, our milk, local coffee. We're not going to roast our own coffee. It's a pain in the butt. But we do have a bunch of coffee beans. So then and then I blended that up. So coffee, milk, raw milk, and raw honey. Blended that up together. It was like an iced coffee. It's so good. It's so good. And I had that. And then in the evening, Jessica and I split 2 small steaks, little kind of T-bones, but without the, what is it called? We call it sotolomo here. T-bones without the top sirloin, the top sirloin cut pulled out of it, because they sell that for more money. And we had that. We split those steaks. And then after that was it. That was all I ate. Maybe a couple bites of cheese after that. I don't remember. So that was it. 1 real solid meal, and then a milk coffee meal. And then a little bit of cheese in the morning. So I guess 2 meals kind of. A little cheese in the morning. So that's what I ate today. And that's kind of like most days. It depends, right? If I'm more active, if I'm doing a lot of physical work, I'll eat more. If I'm not doing as much physical work, I'll eat less. I'm really sore today because I did kind of an intense workout yesterday, so I should have eaten more, but I wasn't hungry. We don't roast coffee beans because it's a pain in the butt. But we do harvest the coffee, and what we're going to do is we're going to harvest it this year. We've got a bunch of coffee, what do you call it, bushes? Coffee bushes. They're like little trees. We're going to harvest it, and we're going to have someone else roast it, someone else process it, dry it, and roast it. Because it's a lot of work. To actually make coffee is a lot of work. That's why it's expensive. And you have no idea what good coffee is like if you live in America. You don't understand. You want good coffee, go to South America. Go to Colombia, go to Ecuador. You want real coffee? The best stuff does not get exported. Trust me. The best stuff is here. All right, what else, guys? I think we had a super chat here. Here's a super chat. Where'd it go? RN sends $2 super chat. Says thank you. Thank you, RN. If you guys got any questions, we can do some Q&A. I saw James Aspie once at a vegan event. That's cool. James Aspie seems like he's like the least insufferable vegan activist. James Aspie seems like he really does. He seems like he's a nice person. Talking to a lot of ex-vegans who've met all these people. Some of these people are not even. Some of these people, they're ex-vegan, but they're not even publicly ex-vegan, and they know all these people in the vegan movement. Most people say that James Aspie is actually pretty cool compared to people like, especially Joey Carbstrong. They say that dude's a weirdo in person. A lot of people say Earthling Ed is also. And this is all hearsay, right? I've never met these people, but many of the people I've talked to who've met these folks say James Aspie is actually legitimately a nice person and has time to talk to people. Carbstrong, insufferable, paranoid douche. And same with, what's his face, Earthling Ed. They say Earthling Ed just cares about Earthling Ed. But that's just hearsay. Maybe these people are wonderful. Maybe they just care about the animals. Maybe. All right, anyways. Here's the thing. My wife's asleep. The children are asleep. And I'm here, hanging out with you guys. We can keep hanging out if you guys got more questions. I got a coffee guy who exports small, high-quality micro lots, better than 99% plus of the coffee in the USA. Yeah, maybe we should do that. We get the best. The thing is, you're not going to get, like from these big companies, you're not going to get the good coffee. It's about, there's so much that goes, like good coffee, it's about the soil that it's grown in. It's about the genetics of the plants. It's about the way that it's processed. And there is so much good freaking coffee in South America. Ecuador is the best coffee in the world. Legitimately the best coffee in the world. So yeah, maybe we should actually export some. Exporting things right now is a pain in the butt. Coffee is one of those things that no matter where you live, you're probably not getting your coffee locally. Why am I still wearing these stupid headphones? What is my problem? What is your deal, dude? What's your deal? Why are you wearing these damn headphones? All right, if you guys got any last questions, if you guys just want to support, send them super chats. If not, we're probably going to wrap it up. We've got plenty of stuff to look at next time. Here's the thing. Another reason why we're always spending time cracking the golden eggs. The vegan movement, it's like a goose that's just constantly laying golden eggs for us. Do you have to be a vegan to be spiritual? They're just constantly hatching these golden eggs for us, the vegan movement. Geese only lay like one egg a day, but the vegan movement is laying golden eggs for us every single day. Every day. All right, I'm not seeing any more. I want to thank everybody who does support the stream for supporting the stream. It's been nice hanging out. I'm out of here, guys.
Raise the sense of urgency around climate change.
What up's reflections? I am not a bigot. I am ready to save the planet by doing exactly what the big banks tell the TV screens to tell us to do. I feel so empowered on my #vegan journey. Join us as we chant empty slogans for #climate action written by PR firms. We need to save the earth and demand a global totalitarian technocratic government run by big finance and the Fortune 100. Our house is on fire and we need the nice grown-up government to take everyone's land and resources and ration us delicious, sustainable, nutrient-fortified vegan kibble. This is an emergency. Mommy Earth is crying so sad because she wants the mean grown-ups to give poor little 16-year-old human shield Greta her future back.
Do you have anything to add to these debates about just in particular the idea that it's kind of too expensive to deal with climate change?
I mean, the money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. I mean...
Jeffrey Epstein committed suicides and was working alone. Veganism is desirable and fun and make me smile big happy on my insides. I do not hate children. I am not a science denier. I do like science. To fix the #climate crisis we need to sterilize ourselves, starve ourselves, eat babies and grandma and move to a social engineered #smart city to save the earth. There is no time to examine the inconsistencies in our claims or actions or the billions of dollars being leveraged to brainwash us into thinking we want this. We want #climate action now and a #plant-based food system of sustainable fortified kibble. We are not being used. We are truly empowered and full of energy that we are using constructively. We are so empowered and not deceived.
We all share the same values, so we just need to align those values with our actions and join forces. We all want the same thing. We want to see an Earth in the next 50 years.
The money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. I mean...